Para mi familia, siempre estoy en mi mejor momento. Por eso también quiero lo mejor en mi cocina. Y eso significa solamente huevos de Eggland Best. Siempre tienen un sabor tan fresco y delicioso, con 6 veces más vitamina D, 10 veces más vitamina E y 25% menos grasas saturadas que los huevos comunes. Entonces, ¿por qué darle menos a tu familia cuando pueden tener lo mejor? Eggland's Best. Mejor sabor, mejor nutrición, mejores huevos.
Got it to Besser in front, back and it scores! The puck back in. Can Foley try to clear it? Burrows is fresh. Caught the puck loose to Edwards. Back in for Alex Burrows. It's up in the air. And now McKinnon the side. Oh! With the left glove! Are you kidding me? What a save!
Hey, Canucks Nation. Brandon Alston here, play-by-play for the Edmonton Canucks. You've got it locked on the line change. Vancouver Canucks podcast.
What's up, Canucks Nation? Welcome to the post-game show. Vancouver Canucks lose to the Winnipeg Jets by a score of 3-2 in overtime. Now, just for transparency, I didn't watch this game. I actually slept most of the day, as the last few days have been a little draining for me. Lots of stuff going on the last couple of days, several live streams, so I did not watch this game. So just there's a little bit of transparency there, but we're still going to get into it. We'll talk about it as much as we can, but let's not waste any time and just go ahead and dive into the goals for this game. Let me just bring this up here. All right, so to start things off, Linus Karlsson gets his 12th of the season at 7:28 of the first period, assisted by Max Sasson and Teddy Bluger. That made it 1-0 Canucks to start this game. And then after the first period, it was still 1-0 Canucks going into the second until Mark Scheifele would score his 30th of the season, assisted by Jonathan Toews at 19:48 of the second period. So it was a tie game through 2 periods of play. Moving on to the third period, Liam Ogren would score his 6th of the season. One of my new favorite players, Ogren, put number 92 in the rafters. Let's do it. Assisted by Bluger and Linus Karlsson. So Karlsson with a 2-point game in this one. And this was 33 seconds into the third period. The Canucks would take the lead. And then Gabe Velarde would score his 24th of the season on the power play at 15:12 of the third period to tie things up, assisted by Scheifele and Morrissey. And then we needed some extra time, so we got some free hockey going into overtime. And a minute 49 seconds into overtime, Josh Morrissey would score his 11th of the season, assisted by Scheifele and Connor. And that would be the end of the game. So the Winnipeg Jets win by a score of 3-2 in overtime. Let's take a look at the game stats right here. Shots on goal, 35-23 in favor of the Jets. Face-off percentage was 56.5% for the Jets, 26 out of 46. And then the Canucks were a 43.5%, which is 20 out of 46. Canucks did not get a power play at all in this game. So the Winnipeg Jets did a very good job of not being penalized in this game. Just the 2 penalties in this game for the Jets, they had 50% power play percentage. They were 1 for 2 on the power play. And of course, only 2 penalties called against the Canucks in this game. Hits were 25-15 in favor of the Canucks. Block shots were 17-5 in favor of the Canucks. And then giveaways were 24-16. And then takeaways were 3 apiece. Let's take a look at the shots on goal per period in this one. The Jets outshot the Canucks 10-5 in the first period, and then 15-6 in the second period. And then the Canucks would outshoot the Jets 10-8 in the third period, but were not able to win the game. And then in overtime, the shots were 2 apiece, which is a bit better than the last time these two teams played, which was, I believe, a week or a week and a half ago. I believe in that game, which also was was decided in overtime. I don't think the Canucks got a single shot in overtime. So at least they get 2 in this one, but 2 is all that Winnipeg needed to win it in overtime. And of course, final shots were 35-23. Let's take a look at the player stats right here. Brock Besser was a -1, 16 minutes and 12 seconds of ice time with 1 shot on goal, 1 hit. Drew O'Connor, zeros across the board, 14 minutes and 49 seconds of ice time with 3 shots, 1 block, and 2 hits. Niels Höglander, 12 minutes and 12 seconds of ice time with 1 shot, 2 hits. Elias Pettersson was a -1, 16 minutes and 59 seconds of ice time. He had 2 shots on goal, so at least he had a couple shots, 1 block, 1 hit. Teddy Bluger was a +2, and he also had 2 assists. 2 shots and a ice time of 16 minutes and 8 seconds. Atsu Ratu, who's finally back in the lineup, 11 minutes and 40 seconds of ice time, 1 shot, 4 hits. 4 hits for Ratu. So he was bumping out there. Obviously, great to see Ratu back in the lineup. I really do not understand why this team continues to scratch him and not dress him and not utilize him. They need to seriously use him a lot more. And I guess with, David Camp now having been traded, hopefully we see Ratu a lot more. But Max Sasson had 1 assist, was a +1, 14 minutes and 37 seconds of ice time, 2 shots, 2 blocks. Jake DeBrusk was a -1, 16 minutes and 8 seconds of ice time, 1 shot, 2 blocks, and 1 hit. Evander Kane had ice time of 12 minutes and 34 seconds, and he only had 1 block, so not even a single shot on goal. He had 3 hits. Liam Ogren with the goal, 17 minutes and 57 seconds of ice time. So Ogren's ice time looks like it has jumped up. 4 shots on goal, 1 block. Marco Rossi was a -1 with 16 minutes and 57 seconds of ice time. 1 shot, 1 hit. And then Linus Karlsson had the 2 points, was a +2, and had 13 minutes and 42 seconds of ice time with 1 shot. Looking at the defense, Tom Willander was a +2, 20 minutes and 55 seconds of ice time, 1 block, 2 hits. Filip Hronek was a -2, 26 minutes and 45 seconds of ice time, 2 shots, 1 block, 3 hits. Hronek with the highest ice time out of the Canuck D-man, as well as the forwards, I believe. Yep. So the highest ice time. So he's been the Quinn Hughes Minuteman here tonight. Z Bouillon, 16 minutes and 35 seconds of ice time, 1 shot, 1 block, 1 hit. DPD was a +1 with 20 minutes and 4 seconds of ice time, 1 shot, 1 block, 2 hits. Marcus Pettersson, 23 minutes and 51 seconds of ice time, 3 blocks, 2 hits. And then Victor Mancini had an ice time of 13 minutes and 55 seconds with 2 blocks. Looking at the goaltenders, Kevin Lankinen, 32 saves on 35 shots, 2 even straight goals allowed, 1 power play goal allowed, and then he had a save percentage of .914. Now, seems like, granted, again, I did not actually watch the game, but it looks like Lankinen actually had a decent game. I'm not going to pile up on him, even though I'm a big Tolopilo guy, but it looked like Lankinen actually had a decent game and actually kept the Canucks in this one. As you can see that by his save percentage and the fact that he had 32 saves on 35 shots. So a decent game for Lankinen, which is obviously, nice to see. But at the end of the day, it is another loss for the Vancouver Canucks. Now, just going to check on comments. Looks like Rain is in the house. Good to see you, Rain. Rain says, as soon as PD was denied on the breakaway in OT, I knew Winnipeg was going to win it on the following play. Plus, it's not like Vancouver has had the best of luck winning in Winnipeg. They are 9-18-1 after tonight. I did not know that was their record. But yeah, and I also didn't know that PD had a breakaway. So looks like despite PD being a -1, looks like he had a decent chance. Rain also says Lankinen earned Vancouver a point tonight. Even the broadcaster said this was his best game in a long time. So it looks like I missed a decent game. But yeah, as I mentioned, Lankinen looks like he actually played very well tonight. You cannot blame him for the loss, as he obviously kept the Canucks in it and at least earned them a point, even though we're trying to not gain points and stay at the bottom. But at the same time, there's a pretty darn good cushion between the Canucks and who is at Calgary, who are, above us. They got at least a 10-point cushion. Swervin is in the house. Good to see you, buddy. It's a low bar. Definitely a low bar. As you can tell, I'm going solo tonight. Gerald is feeling a little drained, so after the last few days, so I'm going solo on this. But though that's your recap of the game. And I figured since it's just me, let's take a look at something. So let me actually bring this up onto the screen. I'm thinking we'll go maybe about an hour or go till about 11 and then we'll call it there. But I want to bring something up, actually an article actually. So let me bring this up and then we can read it. I know people are still kind of, feeling the, recovering from what happened at the deadline, or the lack of moves, I should say, that the Canucks made at the deadline. But I want to share this. Here, let me fix. Where is it? There we go. Screen layout, add to stage. All right, we're going to take a look at this. I'm going to maximize it so I can read it on the screen. But as you can tell, this is an article from Canucks Army by our good friend Dave Hall. And he talks about the draft capital that the Canucks gained at the trade deadline. So the article goes as follows. The 2026 NHL trade deadline has officially come and gone. Canucks made 5 moves in the final hours before general managers put their pens down on deadline day. But in reality, their draft positioning for the 2026 NHL draft began shifting weeks earlier. First, they moved Quinn Hughes to acquire a second first-round pick, and again with the Kiefer Sherwood deal in mid-January to bring in an additional second. With all transactions now official, the Canucks head into the 2026 NHL draft holding 10 selections. It's the most draft capital the organization has carried into one draft since 2003. The year that they selected Ryan Kessler, 23rd overall. That doesn't necessarily mean the maneuvering is finished. Technically, the draft takes place days after the Stanley Cup is awarded, leaving a small window to reshape the board even further. Could an Elias Pettersson conversation resurface? Is there a Jake DeBrusk deal to be explored? That all remains to be seen, but one thing we know for sure is that this will be one of the most important drafts this organization will navigate. And of course, he has a breakdown of the picks. As we mentioned, 2 first-round picks, 2 seconds, a third, a fourth, a fifth, and 3 sixth-round picks. Their own, Boston's, and Washington, that of course they got for David Kampf and Lucas Reichel. We're going to take a look at the Canucks' draft history, or at least rather Patrick Allvin's draft history. In the first round, Braden Coots, obviously, drafted 15th overall last year. Tom Verlander drafted a couple of years ago at 11th overall. And then you had Jonathan Lekaramaki drafted 15th overall in 2022. Regardless of where they finish, the Canucks will have a strong chance of grabbing a player that could single-handedly change the course of this organization's rebuild. According to Tankathon, a last-place finish would give the Canucks a 25.5% chance at first overall under the current lottery format, with a significant 55.7% probability of sliding to third. In other words, the margin between the franchise-altering and merely very good remains razor thin. Regardless of the exact placement, the Canucks will enter the draft with a premium opportunity. Of course, at the top of the class, Gavin McKenna and Ivar Stenberg have separated themselves as the headline talents and players capable of immediately reshaping the trajectory of a rebuild. Should Vancouver slip to third, names like Keaton Vierhoff, Chase Reed, and Caleb Malhotra, just to name a few, enter the conversation, each carrying a legitimate top-of-the-draft pedigree in their own right. Acquired in the Quinn Hughes transaction, Minnesota's first-round pick projects to land somewhere in the back half of day one. Of course, there is still some volatility attached to it. The Wild remain competitive, and while their Stanley Cup probability sits modestly, MoneyPuck currently gives them a 11.5% chance of reaching the final. Playoff variants always exist. If you were looking for a silver lining or something to put you at ease, the Colorado Avalanche pulled the trigger on a few major deals at the deadline to provide them with a potent pack for their Stanley Cup run. Realistically, this selection could settle in the mid to late 20s. Even so, the significance shouldn't be understated. This will mark the first time since 2014 where the Canucks drafted Virtanen, first time since 2014, Jake Virtanen, who was drafted 6th, and Jared McCann, who was drafted 24th, that Vancouver holds multiple first-round picks in the same draft. For a franchise that has often leveraged draft capital for immediate help, simply having 2 bites at the apple represents a crucial philosophical shift. Taking a look at second round, Patrick Allvin's draft history for the second round. Of course, last year he drafted Alexei Medvedev, 47th overall. The second round has quietly become a rare asset in Vancouver's recent draft history over the last 7 drafts. The Canucks have made just 3 selections in this range, with the Patrick Allvin era making just 1. That trend will finally shift in 2026. The Canucks do manage to finish in last place. Their pick technically becomes a first due to the Ottawa Senators' forfeiture of their 2026 first-round pick as part of the Evgeny Dadonov trade penalty. The draft board will compress. That means Vancouver could walk into Buffalo holding 3 selections inside the top 32, which would mark the first time since 1990 when they selected Peter Nedvedev 2nd overall. Acquired as part of the Kiefer Sherwood trade, San Jose's second-round pick adds another layer of intriguing potential. The Sharks remain one of the league's more entertaining but volatile teams. As of today, MoneyPuck gives them roughly a 1 in 3 chance of making the playoffs and a modest 10.9% probability of advancing beyond the first round. Translation, this pick likely lands in the low to mid 40s. If the board breaks favorably, Vancouver could enter the draft with 4 selections inside the top 45, and for a franchise that has rarely operated with that kind of early round volume, that's incredibly exciting. Taking a look at the third round, which is, of course, the Columbus Blue Jackets pick that we received, and Allvin's draft history in 2025, he drafted Kieran Durbin, 65th overall, Melvin Fernstrom, 93rd overall in 2024, Hunter Brustevich in 2023 at 75th overall, Sawyer Minio, 2023 at 89th overall, and DPD in 2022 at 80th overall. The third round has quietly been one of Vancouver's more productive hunting grounds, whether those players remain in the organization or have since been moved as assets. This is a range where the Canucks have consistently identified legitimate NHL traits. Originally, they weren't even scheduled to pick here in 2026. Their third rounder had been dealt in the Nikita Zadorov trade back in 2023, another example of leveraging mid-round capital for immediate help. But that changed late on the eve of the deadline by moving Connor Garland to Columbus. Vancouver not only recouped a third-round pick, but also a 2028 second-round pick. As things stand, the Blue Jackets sit on the playoff bubble, carrying roughly coin flip odds of qualifying. Whether they sneak in or fall short, this selection projects to land in the 75 to 85 overall range and right in the middle tier of the round. Let's take a look at the fourth round, which is, of course, their own fourth-round pick. And the draft history is Riley Patterson in 2024 at 125th overall, Ty Mueller, 2023, 105th overall, Wilmer Ulrichsen, 2023 at 107th overall, Matthew Perkins in 2023 at 119th overall, and Damon Gardner in 2022 at 112th overall. The Canucks didn't hold a fourth-round pick in 2025, but historically this has been a range where they've taken calculated swings and have quietly found value. Riley Patterson has exploded offensively in the OHL and is now firmly in the intriguing asset category. Ty Mueller has established himself as a heartbeat-type presence in Abbey, capable of playing in all situations. Meanwhile, Wilmer Ulrichsen continues to work through his first professional season, blending size and projectable tools that remain difficult to ignore. That's 3 intriguing development pieces in a range that league-wide is often treated as organizational filler. Heading into 2026, Vancouver holds its own pick and is currently projected to pick near the top of the 4th round, around 96th overall. Take a look at the 5th round. Wilson Bjork was, of course, drafted in the 5th round in 2025 at 143rd overall. And then you had Ty Young in 2022, drafted 144th overall. Much like the 2nd round, the 5th has been an area where Vancouver, at least not this regime, has consistently loaded up on picks. Even dating back to the last regime, the results in the 5th round have been mixed. The most tangible progress has come in goal with Ty Young and Aku Koskinvuo. Aku, stemming from the previous regime picks, are now firmly in the professional mix, occupying roles in both Abbotsford and Kalamazoo, and keeping themselves in the conversation within a fluid goaltending pipeline. That alone represents respectable value for mid-round swings at a volatile position. Wilson Bjork, meanwhile, is still early in his development curve, bringing a motor and an edge as he navigates the NCAA route. The jury remains out on the rest, which is often the reality at this stage of the draft. Holding their own 5th round selection in 2026, Canucks are currently projected to pick near the top of the round, around 129th overall. Let's take a look at the 6th round, where, of course, they have 3 picks. Both they have their own, as well as Washington and Boston's. Let's take a look at the history. Gabriel Sherratt was drafted in the 6th round in 2025 at 175th overall. Anthony Romani in 2024 at 162nd overall. Parker Alcos in 2024 at 189th overall. Aiden Celebrini in 2023 at 171st overall. And Jackson Dorrington in 2022 at 176th overall. Assuming no further movement, Vancouver will head into the draft with 3 6th-round picks, which includes 2 that are currently tracking toward the earlier portion of the round due to their original team's positions in the standings. Historically, the 6th round is incredibly unpredictable. The hit rate across the league drops dramatically, and you're often projecting tools over production. Vancouver's record here mirrors that reality. There hasn't been a true impact NHL player pulled from this range in recent memory, but there have been intriguing swings. Anthony Romani looks like the most promising bet of the recent group. His scoring touch has translated well to the NCAA, and for 162nd overall selection, he has already outperformed typical 6th round expectations. Gabriel Sherratt, meanwhile, earned himself an entry-level contract out of his first NHL camp and projects as a high-motor identity-type winger who could grind out a role down the line. When the dust settled on the trade deadline, the message was clear. This is a pivot toward asset accumulation, but that accumulation goes beyond just 2026. Canucks managed to add an extra 2nd-round pick in 2027 and 28, as well as an additional 4th-round pick in 27, 28, and the 29 NHL drafts. All of that acculturation is important, but now it's time to show some results. The 2026 NHL draft marks the start of an incredibly important stretch of drafts that will shape this organization's future. Now the pressure falls on Todd Harvey and this organization's entire amateur scouting staff. So there you go. That is, I highly recommend. I know we just read it, but I highly recommend looking at this article yourselves, written by Dave Hall. Dave Hall, who, once again, friend of the podcast. We've had him on a few times, and he writes some great stuff. He is, of course, known as the prospects guy. And, of course, we're looking forward to having Dave on closer towards the draft. So I'm looking forward to having Dave on the podcast once again so we can go over all this draft stuff, especially if anyone has any burning questions when it comes to the draft. Dave is your guy to go to. So a great article written by Dave Hall here, and I really wanted to highlight it. And yeah, so let's get into some of your comments. That 2014 draft day could have been so different for the Canucks. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it was back in 22, and now Ottawa is being penalized for it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's actually the case. It might be. Or I'm not sure if it was maybe the NHL who decided that. That's actually a good question. Alfred, good to see you, buddy. Next, the tank engine losing along whistles. Woo, 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 woo. The rest of the league will be winning along. Canucks, we love you. Tank, baby, tank. Whoop, whoop. Big names, Chirot and Celebrini. Unfortunately, they were the wrong guys. Yeah, I don't think Aiden's going to be a part of this team at all, even though he's a Celebrini. I just don't think he will make it. Chirot, maybe. We want the Ben Chirots and Macklin Celebrinis of the world. Yeah. Archer C. Loves was a 6th-round pick in 2019. Yeah. I believe that draft pick comes from Ottawa in the Anders Nilsson trade. Oh, gosh, I remember this. Sean Pronger, Steve Correa, Fyodor Fedorov, Daniel Sedin. Duo, good to see you, buddy. Post-game show. Windy City Hockey. Nick, what's up, buddy? What's up? Thanks again for having me last night. Yeah. Anytime, buddy. Absolutely loved having you on. It's great. And yeah, we'll definitely for sure do a draft thing for sure with you. Especially if if Chicago ends up being in the top 5 or even the top 3, it'll be interesting for sure. We need Aiden so we can learn Macklin here. Well, hey, I'm just saying, it looks like he's not interested, or else I'm sure he would be here by now. But yeah, I agree. I want him to learn Macklin here too. Just don't tell Chartle that. Oh no. Sad day for Blackhawks and fans with the passing of Torrey Murray today. Oh no. That's terrible. Wasn't that the jersey you were wearing the other night too? Evening, Connor, good to see you, buddy. My boy scores again. I said that at the top. Not 92 for the rafters. 92, put it in the rafters now. Oops. Tyler, you've been on fire with the 25-26 line change. Thank you, Duo. Always appreciate it. Always appreciate that, Duo. No, that was Marcus Kruger. All right. All right, let's see. While you guys keep coming into the chat, let's it was a Kruger jersey. Or sorry. No. No. Irvin, no. Bad. No. Do not. No. Don't do that. Freddy Krueger. Let's actually take a look at another article, maybe. See what the Canucks Army's got. I do have a couple of videos planned for tomorrow that I'm going to do on Garland. So be on the lookout for those. Here, let's actually see if Daily Hive has anything. Yeah, let's see if Begsy's got anything. Something about Burrows? Intriguing. Let's check this out. Canucks sure could use more fan favorites like Alex Burrows in the lineup these days. Alas, it's been 9 years since Burrows was dealt by the Canucks at the deadline to the Ottawa Senators, ending his illustrious career in Vancouver. Although he's retired as a hockey player back in 2018, Burrows just recently got a big honor from one of his former clubs. The Shawinigan Cataracts of the QMJHL retired Burrows' old number 41 on Friday night for his 2 years of contributions with the club. Oh, cool. So Burrows had his jersey retired in Shawinigan. It's a great honor, obviously one that I never expected. Burrows said prior to the ceremony, it's all the hard work that's paid off, but I think it's the support cast around me, my family and friends that always believes in me and supported me. Awesome. Burrows played for the Cataracts between 2000 and 2002 alongside other NHLers such as Jason Pominville, Zbigniew Metellic, and even former Canucks winger Radim Vrbata. Joined the organization as a late blooming 18-year-old. During his NHL draft eligible season, Burrows was still playing AAA hockey in Quebec. Depth player in his first QMJHL season. During his second and final year in Shawinigan, he finished third in team scoring and led the team in points during the playoffs. Playoff run that we went on, the city really rallied behind us. Those are the memories I'm going to keep. Was enough to catapult his career into the ECHL, where his tenacious story of grinding his way to the NHL is etched in Canucks lore. Although he's been retired for 8 years, Burrows is still involved in hockey. He coached for 6 seasons between the AHL's Laval Rocket and the Montreal Canadiens before stepping back into a player development role in 2024 so he could spend more time with his family. Cool. That is awesome. I have very, very fond memories of Burrows. Connor's response to that, don't you dare. Did you get into fights growing up high school? No, I didn't. I usually stayed away from that type of stuff. I was a bit of a loner in high school, actually. I kept to myself. I'll bloody trade you if I have to silence you for all of eternity. Urban stoking the fire there. Urban, I've already gotten Tyler triggered with my JT alert. Oh, no, I'm not triggered. I'm not triggered by it. Nick, I was able to talk Troy over the last couple of seasons. He was always great to talk with before every game. Going to miss Troy, hoping the Blackhawks name the radio booth after him and retire his number. Awesome. Yeah. Of course, I don't know too much about Blackhawks, but yeah, if definitely would be good to name the radio booth after him and retire his number for sure. Connor, the day he extends, I will hound you for days. Yeah. He was the original number 19 for the Blackhawks. Cool. Oh, yeah, that's right. Taves wore number 19 for the Blackhawks. Yeah, they can, and I've said this for the Canucks as well. They can have 2 numbers retired for different players that wore it. No. So, yeah, they can definitely have a number 19 retired for Taves once he actually retires, as well as for Murray as well. I've said the same thing about Luongo and McLean. Retire number 1, have 2 number 1s in the Raptors. One says Luongo, one says Kirk McLean. Easy. There's no rules saying that you can't do that. So why don't you do it? At least that's my take on the whole Luongo retire his jersey thing. I've been a advocate for that. So, and I still to this day think Luongo should have his number retired. Be nice to have both their names on that banner. I don't see why not. Nick, with Taves being UFA this July, could you see him coming back to Chicago, maybe for a farewell tour? That's, yeah. It says, I can see Taves retire after the season, but sign a 1-day contract. Yeah, that is something I could definitely see Tyler Myers doing as well. I know he was just dealt to Dallas. But when he does decide to retire, I could see him doing something very similar where he signs like a 1-day contract so he can actually retire as a Canuck. As we all know, that is something that Myers really wanted to do. He wanted to end his career in Vancouver. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if Seattle can retire number 32 even before they ever played a minute of hockey, they can have multiple players retire with the same number. Exactly. McLean had a better finals than Luongo, but as a goalie, he's not in the same stratosphere as Luongo. Yeah, that's been my argument too. Luongo is more well known than Kirk, even though Kirk is a legend and obviously, played better in the finals. But Luongo has all these records, these goaltending records in Vancouver, and I feel as though he did a lot more than McLean. But at the same time, you still need to acknowledge McLean and his contributions to the team as well. So again, have two number 1 jerseys in the Raptors with each of their names. Seven is currently retired for Chelios, but it will be retired for Seabrook soon. Oh yeah, I forgot Brent Seabrook as well. Blackhawks have the 3 retired for 2 players. See, even the Blackhawks have it. The fact that Kane was not wanted by another team before the deadline really tells the story. His checkered history ruined his value and worth to other teams with his ill discipline. Yeah, exactly. And actually, I do have a video that's going to come out tomorrow that I actually am going to have talk about in regards to Bluger and Kane not being dealt. And I'll admit, I haven't recorded it yet, but I'm going to. But I'm basically going to rip into Alvin, and I can believe that they were not able to get anyone interested in Kane. I can totally believe that. But Bluger is a completely different story. It's like what I mentioned, I think, in our trade deadline video the other day. I'm calling BS on the fact that there were no offers for Bluger. I do think there were offers for Bluger. The Canucks were just being very picky about it and wanted more than what teams were offering. And also, I don't think Alvin went to teams being like, hey, and he wasn't trying to sell Bluger to teams. He was waiting for teams to come to him, which is terrible. Extend Kane 8 times 8. Yeah, no, thank you. At this stage, let him finish his contract and then let him go. Don't want to see him in the roster next season. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I even floated the idea of waiving, putting him on waivers for the purpose of terminating his contract. I threw that out there a while ago. If they weren't able to get him dealt, you waive him for the purpose of terminating his contract so you can get off that $5 million. That could be a possibility as well. Reason Bluger not being moved because he missed most of the season. Very true. Very, very, very true. $8 times 8 minutes. Oh, 8 times 8. Oh, okay. Now I get it. That's fucking hilarious. But that's a very good point, Connor, about Bluger not being moved. But I also do think at the same time, Alvin wasn't shopping, or he wasn't, presenting offers to other teams. I think he was waiting for teams to come to him. You can't operate that way at all. That's not how you operate. You if you want to sell somebody, you got to go to teams and be like, hey, look, this guy, you got to pump him up. And I feel as though Alvin did not do that at all. It's like The Bachelor. You can't wait for The Bachelor to come to you. You have to go to him and put yourself out there if you want to garner attention. Plus, they probably think Bluger stays. Yeah, exactly. yeah, definitely. But I won't dive too much into the whole Alvin and Bluger thing. I want to save that for the video that I'm going to record. But yeah, that's one of the videos I'm doing. I'm going to do one, as I mentioned, on Garland, talking about, because Garland reflected on his time here in Vancouver. There's also another part to it that I'm going to have in it as well. So I actually meant to do that today. But of course, as I mentioned, I just end up sleeping most of the day. So that'll come out tomorrow. Those 2 videos will come out tomorrow, and then we'll go back to our regular, videos, or I should say pre-recorded videos that I've been doing. Actually, when is the next Canucks game? Let me quickly look at the schedule. Okay, so the next game is on Monday against Ottawa. That's at 6 p.m. So, of course, we'll have another post game for that one. I'm assuming Gerald will probably be back for that one. Clock's a ticking. Yeah, don't worry. I haven't forgotten, Rain. I haven't forgotten. I think Garland wants to say he was happy here for most of his career. The organization just let him down. He really lit up our 23-24 season. Yeah, absolutely. And not to get too much into it because I want to save that for the video, but I believe I saw he made a comment on, the pivot that the Canucks made. And it looks like, and I'm paraphrasing here, he wasn't too keen on a rebuild. And that is a big reason why him being traded kind of like ramped up in the last few weeks. Because remember, before the Olympic break, the Canucks did not want to move him. They had no desire to move him. And then things changed after the Olympics. Suddenly out of the blue, things changed and they started ramping up on dealing Garland. So I think he just wasn't big on a rebuild, and the team was going in a different direction than when he originally signed that extension back in the summer. So just based on that, you guys can see how things can easily change from the summer to now. Like, just think about it. In the summer, and I hate to do this, but we still had Quinn Hughes, and then we signed Garland, we re-signed Demko, to that stupid freaking contract. And it's like what we talked about in the deadline video yesterday. If the Canucks hadn't have extended Garland, we probably could have gotten more in a trade at this deadline. So we probably could have gotten more value for him, but because of the 6x6 and because of, the lack of production, him going goalless in 20 plus games really is, and that is the reason why we got a 2028 second round pick and not a pick from this year. I bet you if Garland was playing well, and if he didn't have that extension in place, we probably could have gotten a 2026 second round pick for Garland. Maybe even as a bit of a stretch, we could have potentially maybe even gotten a first. He's talking about the JT Miller video that him and I are planning on doing. I wonder, did they hire Foote as a means of planning this rebuild to begin with? That's actually a really good point. Very good point, Connor. Especially since they knew full well he had zero experience as a head coach. Yeah. And even his own experience in Kelowna wasn't any good. Yeah. Roy, all V7Y, good to see you. The Canucks have fallen a long way down from 23-24. How does something like this happen? You can't blame this on any one person. There's probably many variables to look at. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. 100% on that. Nice. Can't wait to see it. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a good one, the JT Miller hot take on that. And yeah, Rain mentioned he's got notes, full-on notes. They hired Foote to appeal to Quinn Hughes. Yeah. And look how that turned out. So that's a big reason why a lot of people are calling for Foote's head, for Foote to be let go at the end of the season. But I'm not sure what they're going to do. Trust me, I want them to get rid of Foote, but at the same time, I'm not quite sure if they're actually going to pull the trigger on that. Let's So got a little bit more time. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, by the way, shout out to Trevor Beggsy, for writing this article on Burrows. Check out Daily Hive and some of Beggsy's articles. He's got some great stuff on here as well. So definitely check that out. Let's see if there's anything else. This one looks interesting. Canucks are developing a reputation with Garland and Hughes trades. Once again, written by Beggsy this morning. It was a trade that came together relatively quickly for the Canucks. Perhaps there's a reason for that. Leading up to the deadline, it had been reported that the Canucks were listening on Garland, but really didn't have much desire to trade him, as like what I mentioned. I think a lot of what happened before the Olympic break, the Canucks were saying, we'll listen on Garland, but we don't want to move him. That changed through the February break. The Canucks entered the Olympic break with the stranglehold on last place in the NHL. They clearly needed to try and sell players for draft picks, but their ability to do so was hampered by the barrage of underperforming veterans on the roster. One player who seemed to be gaining traction on the trade market was Garland. Dollywell reported following the trade that as many as 8 teams were in on Garland, but 4 were pushing hard as negotiations entered the final stretch. He mentioned that 3 of those teams included the Capitals, Bruins, and of course the Blue Jackets. The Islanders were in on it too, but they wanted the Canucks to take a player back. So apparently that is what held up the Islanders, is they wanted the Canucks to take a player back in exchange, probably like someone like Duclair. The Canucks weren't interested. Following the trade, both Dollywell and Sportsnet's Elliot Friedman confirmed that there was one key figure who helped this deal reach the finish line. The agent involved here, who's Judd Moldaver, really pushed for the trade. Friedman said on Sportsnet 650's Halford and Brough, this isn't the first time this season that the agent has played a big part in the trade process. The same thing happened when the Canucks dealt Hughes. In Hughes' case, his agent Pat Brisson went as far as to say the Canucks treated their former captain as if he had a no-trade clause. The Canucks talked with Moldaver. Garland did not ask for a trade, but feelings were mutual from both sides about moving them. Moldaver played a big part in this trade. He really did. Vancouver also had J.P. Barry, the agent for Tyler Myers, also the agent for Elias Pettersson, heavily involved in the trade that saw him go to Dallas. There could be some skepticism about a diminished trade return if the agent is playing a major role in the trade process, especially for players without trade protection. However, the Canucks are doing themselves a favor to include powerful agents like Brisson and Moldaver in the trade process, because a team like the Canucks, who have signed numerous players to long-term extensions before trying to trade them, might not be endearing themselves to future free agents. There are reasons why the Canucks might not be a prime free agency destination, from being the NHL's worst team to high tax rates. However, maintaining a good relationship with agents, something they've seemingly accomplished, could help them find players in the future. While their reputation might have taken a hit with the fan base, it appears as though it's not the case with player agents. So that is a very interesting one right there. Again, I highly recommend reading Beggsy's articles. Oh, Russell's in the house. Good to see you, buddy. So for now, you in multiple streams. Yes. Basically, what Urban is saying is perfecting the cloning process. Is your house all good? What happened? What did I miss? Yes, false alarm. More importantly, is Darbiton. Yeah. What did I miss? Did something happen in Russell's stream? Casey DeSmith. Whoa. Oh, there's a fire alarm in the middle of his stream. Oh, that is the worst. That is the worst. Casey Smith equals second best goals against average. It's a long, arduous story that only Russ can live to tell the tale about. But it was a false alarm. Well, I'm glad everything is okay, Russ. And there wasn't an actual fire. All right. Yeah, tell you what, why don't we do an hour 30 and I'll bring Urban on and he can talk about the game. Yeah, let's do that. Here, let me get back to here. Stop screen. Oh, not you. Who is it then? Oh, Russell. Well, hey, yeah. Well, yeah, if Russ wants to come on for a bit and talk about the game a little bit, I'm totally down for that if he's interested. It's fine, but Crystal couldn't come home because the elevators were... Oh, jeez. My face, why he wants my boy. Yeah, no, Russ, if you want to come on, even if it's for like 10 minutes, we can do that too if you want. Let me know in the chat. And you can give me your in-depth analysis of the game since you actually watched it, unlike me. Yeah. All right. I'll send you the link, Russ. Oh, here, I'll do it through here. Exit that. No, while I get this all ready, yeah. Yeah, Connor, I can probably bring you on for a little bit too. Just give me 1 second. Let me send this to Russell. And on that note, I think this is going to be the first time that I've had Russell on. So, all right, let me find the link. Oh, Rain got my popcorn. Copy invite link. There we go. Send Russell the link. You're on my hit list. You wanted a reaction, you got one. Oh man, some fireworks going on in the chat here tonight. This is good. I'll screenshot that too. You evil son of a gun. This is good. All right, let's bring him on. The man. Oh, I should probably put my headphones on. There we go. What's up, Ross?
How's it going, my dude?
Not bad. Yeah, like I said, I think this is the first time I've had you on. So how about that?
I think you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
You're probably right about that, eh?
Oh yeah. And I'm usually not right about a lot of stuff. So it's not bad.
Were you working tonight? Is that what happened?
No, I was sleeping. I was catching up on my sleep because Friday for our deadline show, I ended up staying up because I had to get a bunch of stuff done for it. So I ended up staying up and I was recovering. So
that's fair. Yeah, you were up late. I think I saw you online when I was going to sleep last night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wild stuff.
So, but yeah, you got some analysis for the game since you actually watched it. Obviously, like looking at the score,
call it the perfect tank.
Didn't seem like that bad of a game.
Yeah, they were up. I mean, Carlson looked great out there. Had 2 points. It was the second star of the game. Sasson was moving again. He moves his feet so well. It's great to see that. Lankinen, I said this on my show. It was the ugliest good game I've seen a goalie play in a long time. Like, it was so ugly, but he still somehow managed to get the job done. So that was good too. And they ended up losing, right? So for when it comes to the tank, that's what we're all about. Like, we're not here to win games. We're here to tank, baby, tank. But the other good thing about the game was the Canucks led the game for the most part. And on my stream, I have this bag that I wear on my head if the Canucks are losing, but they weren't losing until they lost in overtime. So I didn't have to wear the bag all night, which was great because it's hot in there. Yeah, no, it was a good game. And we were live for that game, and then we were also live for the Abbey Canucks game too. So the Abbey Canucks game happened right after, and Abbey ended up winning 4-0. And Tyler, think about this. They had 10 guys to play forward going into the game. One of those guys was a defenseman. So they had Christian Felton, who's a defenseman, as the only person who was on the fourth line. And they had injuries up and down the lineup. And then, like, first period, Chase Waters, the captain, takes a puck to the face, and he leaves the game. So now Abbotsford has 3 lines. They only had 3 lines, 9 players to play forward. And so they finished the game with only 9 players and still managed to win 4-0. And the Colorado Eagles are the second best team in their division. So it was quite the spectacle. They played so well. All the guys you wanted to play well played well. Like, Kudratsev looked really, really good. A guy that you want to see playing well down there. We had Chase Stillman was looking good. Cooper Walker was playing good. So all these young guys that are playing down in Abbotsford were playing really, really well. So it was fun to see, despite the fact that they were down by 3 guys in the game. It was like beer league out there, like Swerve was saying earlier. So it was fun to see them pull off the win anyways. And Ty Young got his first shutout ever in the AHL. So that was good to see too. And Brandon Astle, friend of your show and friend of my show, you know what he did? 30 seconds left to go in the game. He dropped the shutout word in the broadcast. And I was like, what are you doing, Brandon? You're trying to ruin Ty Young's shutout? So, yeah, it was good to see. So we were live for 2 games, and it ended up being great because obviously we don't want to see the Vancouver Canucks win. We want to finish dead last. And then we managed to see the Abbotsford Canucks also win their game, which they still, it'll be such a long shot for them to make the playoffs. Like, they can only lose maybe like 2 or 3 more games in the last 15. So it would take some doing, but theoretically they could still make the playoffs. But yeah, like I said, they'd have to win out almost. So, but overall, I'd say the Vancouver Canucks played well enough. That fourth line, and I've made the joke that Adam Foote is only good at coaching by mistake. So he mistakenly put together Sassone, Carlson, and Bluger because of trades and injuries and blah, blah, blah. And then the Bluger, Sassone, and Carlson line turned out to be the best one. The only reason that Sassone didn't get another point, they probably would have been 2 points across the board because they changed and Liam Ogren came on to score his goal, which obviously made Connor Cahill very, very happy to see his boy number 92 score. But yeah, I mean, even defensively, I thought Mancini played a little bit better than he has been, which was good to see. Zeev Buium and Vilander had the second power play in it. They were looking pretty good together there. Oh no, they didn't even get a power play tonight, so they were just playing together at some points. Yeah, the Vancouver Canucks didn't get a single power play. It was a very strange game that way. Even though at one point, I think Marco Rossi got cross-checked right in the mouth and no call. And the other funny part was Jonathan Taves. He tipped the puck into his own net. So it was like kind of like retribution from all those years of, beating up on us in Chicago. So it was funny to see him score on his own goal. So we'll take that too.
Nice. I'm still trying to get over Astle using the S word. Like, dude, what are you doing pulling a Donkey Dave? I know, I don't know if it's Whit or Jordan in the chat, but Donkey Dave, he pulled a Donkey Dave.
Yeah.
Dude, what are you doing? I might have to harp on him about that next time I have him on. Be like, did I hear you said the S word?
Oh, yeah. Canucks Uncensored. Actually, you know what? This is weird. This is going to be strange, but here. I think I can do this too. Look at this. Oh, no, it doesn't pop up on your screen. Never mind. The Canucks Uncensored comment. The new defenseman looked good too, right? The Jet Wu replacement. Yes, he had 3 points tonight. So he had 2 points last night in his first game, and he had 3 points tonight. So he's 5 points in 2 games. He's got 2 goals and 3 assists through 2 games of play. He is essentially a younger version of, well, I wouldn't even say he's a more offensively gifted version of Jet Wu. He can play penalty kill. He can play power play, and he has looked really, really good. He moves the puck well. So 3 points for him tonight. So good night for the new guy as well. And just the defensive core down there was so solid tonight. They had everyone back. Minio's back in the lineup looking good. Kadratsa's looking good. The new guy Thompson's looking good. Cole Clayton's looking good. And then all the spare part guys they have down there like Schultz and Arnston are also looking good. So the defense down there despite the fact they only had 9 forwards playing down there tonight, their defensive core is back and healthy. We're going to quickly knock on some wood. And they were looking really, really good tonight. And then even a guy like Christian Felton, I don't know if you saw him. He got signed to a PTO to play in Abbotsford. He won the Calder Cup with Abby last year. So they signed him to a PTO this year when they got all the injuries. Then they cut him from the team because they didn't need him anymore. And then they got the trade deadline happen. So then they signed him to a 1-year deal to take him through to the remainder of the end of this season. But Christian Felton, a defenseman playing on forward, actually looked really, really good out there tonight. Doing in more limited minutes, but actually looked really good. So nothing but praises. Manny Malhotra has that team playing so well down there. And if they still held all the parts, like right now, I don't even know if you know, Mackenzie McEachran injured, Vilmer Ulrichsen injured, Baines out of the lineup, Jujar Kara out of the lineup. Like they are decimated down there, and they still managed to win 4-0. So let's all pray to the hockey gods that Adam Foote gets the axe at the end of the year. And they bring up Manny for next year because I cannot take another season of Adam Foote. He is so bad.
Mm-hmm. Apparently Connor wants you to say that name again. You probably know which one he's talking about.
Ogren.
Yeah, put it in the Raptors. Put it in the Raptors. Yeah. Number 92. Yeah. Just looking there.
Yeah, Rain saying, remember Jet Wu had all the hype, was gonna bloom and never bloomed. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I love Jet Wu, but he never matured from being that junior defenseman. Like he's not a defenseman. Like Jet Wu was never a defenseman. He was always a roamer. He's the kind of guy who's in on the forecheck on a regular basis, which is fine, but he also wasn't. He made a lot of bad decisions, and you can get away with that in the AHL and in junior, but you cannot get away with the kind of stuff he was pulling. The other aspect that he brings that the new guy Thompson doesn't bring is a level of grit. Like Jet Wu will drop the gloves with anyone. He is crazy like that. He will drop the gloves with people way bigger than him. I haven't seen Thompson fight yet, but when you got Cole Clayton's down there now, Cole Clayton doesn't give a crap. He will fight anyone too. And the game got really chippy at the end for the Abbey Canucks tonight. A bunch of players got tossed at the end because they were just being stupid. But yeah, overall, high praise to Manny and his team keeping that beer league of a lineup going. And then again, the Vancouver Canucks didn't look terrible. It looked a little bit like shinny out there against Winnipeg. Both teams have admitted that they're not going to be making the playoffs. Luke Schenn gone. And then Stanley also gone off the roster for the Jets. So was a little scrambly out there. But I mean, at the end of the day, too, like the Jets carried the play. If it wasn't for Lankinen, the Canucks would have lost that game way worse. Lankinen, again, with very ugly play, kept them in that game. So, but the perfect tank game as well, because Canucks led most of the game and then lost in overtime.
Looks like Kempner's in the house on X. Abby has hope again. Good to see you, Trev.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know I got a video coming out on it tomorrow, but obviously we haven't chatted since the deadline. And I know you had deadline coverage yourself. What's your thoughts on Kane still being here, Bluger still being here, and just what they did? And rather didn't do.
Yes. They sat on their hands. The red phone never rang, so they didn't pick it up and try and dial out. Does Patrick Alvin know that phones go 2 ways? Like he can pick up the phone and call, right? But he doesn't know that, I guess. But No, Patrick Allvin, the fact that Patrick Kane, it's not Patrick Kane. Wish it was Patrick Kane. Evander Kane, the fact that Evander Kane is still a member of this team is disturbing. It will be even more disturbing if they re-sign him. That would be terrible. And I'm not saying this in any kind of political fashion or anything like that, but we saw at the beginning of the year, Evander Kane hanging out with Kash Patel. And then we saw at the Olympics, Francesco Aquilini hanging out with Kash Patel. That tells me that these guys were all a bunch of buddies. So that tells me there is some small chance that Evander Kane re-signs with this team, and that disturbs me to my core. So let's hope that doesn't. On Bluger, I'm fine, right? He's been very serviceable. I do not believe they didn't get offers for him. He is too good. He's been playing too well to have not gotten some kind of offer. So more realistically, they probably did not get an offer they thought was good enough for him. But if they can re-sign him to a reasonable contract, some kind of role as a third or fourth center, I'm fine with that too, as long as it doesn't prevent some of these young guys from getting the lineup. But as you saw tonight, Max Sasson was playing on the wing, and he looked really good doing it. So maybe they keep that line together moving into the next year. But it also depends on what they do with the guy who we all love to see, the 6'9" guy getting picked up, Douglas, who is coming out here. He is an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year, so they do have to re-sign him. But it will be interesting to see kind of what they do around that. Maybe some more trades coming before the draft or before July 1 or something like that to open up some roster spots. But I will give the Canucks praise in the realm of picking up draft picks. And the Connor Garland one, sad to see the guy go. He's essentially the new Honey Badger, right? We had Yannick Hansen back in the day who was the Honey Badger. He didn't give a shit. Connor Garland didn't. But then tonight I had the realization that I think Marco Rossi and Connor Garland are extremely similar players in a lot of different ways. The difference being is Marco Rossi's a center, Connor Garland's not. And so with Rossi on this lineup, Connor Garland was expendable. And just by the fact that he hasn't scored a goal since, what is it, like 41 games or some nonsense? Like it was December, I think, when he scored his last goal or something like that. Like it's insane. His shooting percentage is terrible. So I'm fine to see him go. And I think they probably got as much as they could for him. And then just the fact they have 10 picks in the first round of the draft this year. And we were talking about a little bit about it with Dustin on my post-game show today. You can say whatever you want about Rutherford and Allvin and what they've been doing with the pro scouts. Their amateur scouts have been doing a fantastic job. Since they took over the drafting process, I would say we're probably sitting at like 80 to 85% of the players they have picked so far are either in the system via Abbotsford or are developing very nicely in juniors, or even like a guy like Basil Sansones, who's a Swiss guy. He's playing in the Swiss Premier League now with men and developing. So I'm not happy Kane's still here. I'm okay with Bluger still being here. They got some stuff back for Myers and Garland. And then even though we kind of didn't like to hear it, Alvin's like, we got our big deals done early. They did do really well with Sherwood, and they got some really good pieces back for Hughes. So if you're looking at the season as an overall start to the rebuild, I give the Canucks like a 7.5 out of 10, maybe an 8 when it comes to the rebuild getting started. So far, I'll give them a passing grade. And I think if they can hit it out of the park at this draft coming up with their 10 picks, this rebuild is well on its way to being successful.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Connor did mention this earlier. Would you agree that Bluger's absence for the majority of the season may have contributed to him not being moved?
It could be part of it. Yeah, that definitely could be part of it. But I mean, maybe what happened was teams were worried about his ability to stay in the lineup. And so that's why maybe the offers weren't good enough. Because like I said, I don't believe they didn't get offers on him, but they probably just didn't get anything good. If you're trading away Bluger, you can't accept anything lower than a second-round pick, I think. Especially if you can re-sign him for a reasonable cost, right? So if they weren't getting a second-round pick offered for Bluger, they were probably just like, no.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I thought they could have gotten at least second or a third. I think you don't go for anything less than a third for Bluger.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Like I said, I think it's BS that they didn't have any offers. They were just maybe valuing Bluger a little bit, which is something they do for every single one of their damn players. They overvalue them. I mean, shit, freaking Reichel got a 6th-round pick.
Yeah.
And you mean that Bluger, there were no offers for Bluger, yet somebody wanted Reichel and Kampf? I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
So, Canucks Uncensored, Kane not traded, not surprised. Bluger can be resigned, that is fine. Hoping and looking for one of Besser or DeBrus to regain value to be moved at the draft. Excited to see who they will draft. Yeah, I'm still not sure if Besser is going to be moved. I could see DeBrusque for sure, but I'm just not convinced that Besser is going to go anywhere.
Yeah, no, I like Besser's game. He had a nice game tonight too. He's been looking fine. That line of Ogren and Rossi and Bluger, or sorry, Ogren, Rossi, and Besser look fine tonight. They've had some jump in there. I think there is some chemistry between Besser and Rossi, and I think overall Besser's game is just he's a better version of DeBrusque, because DeBrusque does not seem like he was on the 4th line tonight, or no, he got bumped up all the way to the Petey's line today, but he didn't really look great out there. The dude cannot dig a puck out of the corner. He was only, I think this year he's probably had he's maybe won 5 board battles all year long, and that's just not good enough in this league.
Yeah. I've really harped on them having DeBrusque on that first line with Petey. It's like, okay, it hasn't worked. Stop flipping doing it.
Yeah.
Put the Swedish kids up on the line. Heck, put Ogren on the line with Petey, since Ogren's playing really well. I did notice Ogren's minutes jumped. I'm not sure what they were last game, but he had almost 18 minutes compared to Kane, who had 12 minutes of ice time.
Yeah.
So they're really pushing for Ogren. And I know Connor's going to absolutely love that. But, I noticed his numbers really jumped. That was one of the first things that I noticed when I looked at the stats. I was like, holy crap, Ogren played almost 20 minutes.
Ogren tonight, yeah, he was the high minute man for the forwards actually tonight, with almost 18 minutes played. So yeah, he got the goal, right? Came off the bench, got the goal. So how can you not give the man minutes?
Yeah, and from Kempner, should be Ogren, Pettersson, Karlsson. Yeah, that should be the line. That should be your first line right there.
On OP. And the thing is, I'm fine with it. I would even be fine if it was Hoagland or Pettersson and Karlsson, right? I'm fine with that too. But the nice thing about Ogren is he's essentially a big version of Hoaglander.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I absolutely love that line of Ogren, Pettersson, Karlsson. They need to do it. But we'll see if Tank Commander is smelling what we're selling.
No, he will not do it because he's an idiot. He put DeBrusque and Petey and Kane back together for one shift yesterday, and I was like, what?
Oh my gosh. Have you not figured it out yet? It don't work.
No, he doesn't know what
hasn't worked all season. Yeah, hasn't worked all season. Canucks Uncensored. I think this is wit, actually. I think Bluger was offered something for sure, but they were probably terrible offers, like a 5th or 6th round. Canucks did trade Bluger for that. Teams might get the idea to lowball them. That's actually a really good point. And I believe Connor said something a little bit earlier. Where was it? Yeah, adding to your point, perhaps maybe we wanted 2nd-round picks, and maybe other teams said no.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised by that whatsoever. Connor, my boy will become a megastar. Absolutely.
He might be the diamond in the rough on that trade.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're all looking at Bouillon, and this is not a knock on Bouillon at all. But it's looking like Ogren was the actual diamond that we got in that trade at this point for Hughes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Just looking at. Oh, this is Rain mentioned this, I think, the other day. but this is actually a pretty good point. Wasn't it a red flag that only Vancouver wanted Kane back in the summer at the time of the trade? Is it really shocking that no one wanted him for the rest of the season? That's actually a very good point.
No. I mean, I think that's the same thing. I think it was one of those aspects where the Canucks probably overvalued him. Like the word on the street and the word in all the rumor mills is that everyone was shocked when the Canucks made the trade. And then all of a sudden everyone's shocked that they can't get rid of him. But, like they helped out the Oilers. Why do you help out the Oilers? And they did.
Yeah.
Kempner not a fan of Bouillon being on the third pair.
Oh. I didn't know he was on the third pair. Yeah, that's a little interesting.
Yeah. Because you got the things with this lineup, you never know. You just have to look at the minutes. And right now, Bouillon was on the bottom pair with Mancini. And Bouillon got 16:35. So, yeah, he was on the third pair. 16:35 is not terrible. And then you did see a little bit of time with Vilander out there as well. But Mancini, the low minute man tonight with 13:55. But like I said, Mancini did look a little better. But, yeah, I think Bouillon is one of those guys that I don't know if Foote has much confidence in. But, yeah, I agree with Kempner. Bouillon should be playing with Hronek.
Mm-hmm.
They should staple him right to Hronek.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I don't actually have the stats up anymore. Let me actually just pull them up real quick. Because obviously I noticed Hronek had like 26 minutes. He had like almost Quinn Hughes minutes tonight at like 26.
26:45.
There we go. Oh, here, I'll do. Whoops. Wrong one. Ah. There. Here, I'll get rid of the scoreboard briefly. As much as I love it, it's cutting off. Nice. Yeah, I've kind of gotten it down pat on doing it. It's just colors now I got to deal with.
Do you is that just a graphics, or do you update all the numbers and stuff like that just in your editing software? Is that what you're doing?
No, I basically have to wait for the game to end, and then I have to add everything. So I can't update it mid. Unfortunately, StreamYard isn't that good at that. They haven't gotten to that point. So yeah, there's Besser. Yeah, Ogren, 17 minutes and 57 seconds.
Yep. And then the second most minutes went to EP40.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing I would say about EP40, does miss the breakaway in overtime.
Mm-hmm. I heard about that.
But I mean, good stop by Hellebuck. Not an easy guy to beat. Tries to go 5-hole on him. And I think sometimes when you try and go 5-hole on a goal, you can look a little foolish. But I would give the props I give to PD tonight is he was 50% in the faceoff circle. Him and Ratu were both 50%. The rest of the centers did not manage to be 50%. So that was a positive for PD tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's been struggling a bit in the faceoff circle lately too.
Yeah. I noticed he had a couple shots on goal, which was great. Yes, I'm saying that directly to you, Justin. He had 2 shots on goal, only 1 block. So it looks like he wasn't blocking a whole lot of shots tonight. But I did notice Kane, we were kind of shitting on Kane, and he didn't get a single shot on goal, and he only played 12 minutes.
Yeah. I think he's probably still fighting. Like, he was out of the lineup because he was sick, so I assume he's probably still fighting whatever he was sick with too. So they were probably limiting his minutes a bit. But I did look it up, or I've got a spreadsheet that I create for the Canucks, and Evander Kane has taken 145 shots that have hit the net this year. He's had 80, I think it's like 83 shots have been blocked, and then like 82 shots missed the net. So if you were to add in all his shot attempts, he's shooting at I think it's like 5%. for the year. It's terrible.
Mm-hmm. Penny Urban says this is actually the second time you've been on the podcast. Way back after a Columbus game, the night we did our 7-way open house set.
Oh yeah. I do remember that. You guys we were doing like mayhem after midnight or something like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, now I remember. But still, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
So
Hondo P.
I think that was before I was on the network too. So
I think it was just after you got on the network.
Oh, okay.
Because I think I remember asking you about it.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Buy a skate jersey with Ogren's name on it. Do it.
Yeah, do it, man. Claim it.
Do it. I mean, I'm still contemplating on a Garland jersey just because it's Garland.
Yeah, I want to buy a Tyler Myers jersey now. I could probably get one for cheap, right?
Yeah. But although my wife told me, don't you dare. So I might actually have to listen to her for once.
She's tired of you buying jerseys, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Tyler, what's your thoughts on the Canucks? Are you happy with what they've done leading up to the trade deadline?
I mean, I'll admit the Garland thing, it kind of surprised me. But at the same time, I figured he would get moved.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I was obviously, a while ago, I was like in the boat of, don't trade him. I kind of want to have him for the rebuild, that veteran presence, that scrappy guy in the lineup, that heart and soul guy. You already traded one of those guys out. And I didn't want us to trade out another one. But, obviously, as we got closer, I was kind of expecting it. I'll admit, Columbus surprised me. I full-on expected him to go to Boston. Because I know I did a couple of videos talking about, Matthew Poitras, Lohrei as well being potential. But it looks like the Canucks didn't want to take a player back. They just wanted picks. And that's why the Islanders one fell through. Because it looked like the Islanders wanted them to take a player on, which I wouldn't be surprised if it was Duclair. Because I know they've been shopping Duclair.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then, when it happened, obviously, I was a little, there was a little bit of shock value. And going like, whoa, like they actually pulled the freaking trigger on this. Because it's like what Rain said, they've been talking about trading Garland for the last 5 years. So yeah, I was pretty shocked about it initially. And then, I kind of thought about it, was like, this is the right move. It needed to be done. They're focusing on this rebuild. Like everyone else, I'm disappointed Kane's still here because I've been wanting him gone since the start of the season. I've never been a big Kane guy. I haven't been a big Kane guy since he played for the Giants over a decade ago. So, but yeah.
I wanted to get your thoughts too, because I had I am on Reddit a lot. And I was having an argument with someone about Manny Malhotra being called up, and they're like, blah, 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 like, we're going to be bad for years, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, like Jim Rutherford said in his interview. Did you see the interview Jim Rutherford did on 100% Hockey?
Yeah, I did.
And the comment that he said, we need to prepare our team to be set up for success, essentially. And as of September, our goal should be to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Does that scare you when it comes to this rebuild?
Yeah, a little bit. I think I forget who it was, but someone really ripped on that, saying like, your goal is to make the playoffs. Shouldn't it be to win a Stanley Cup, not just make the freaking playoffs?
Yes. Yeah. I think Drance went off on that.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. That's right. That was Drance who went off on that, and he was like, "Goal should be to win a cup, not just make it into the playoffs." You're sounding like Aquilini by saying that. So I did not like that part for sure.
Yeah, I think the only thing I reread it again because I always pulled the transcripts from interviews and stuff like that to just kind of reread it. And he says, I don't know if we will get there or be far enough ahead to do it, but our goal should be to make the playoffs, which I'm fine with it in that context. But I think my worry might be, and I don't know what your thoughts are you worried the Canucks are going to trade young assets or draft picks in order to make a push for the playoffs if they think they're close? Or do you think they're smart enough at this point to say, if we make the playoffs, nice bonus. If not, then we're not going to try and waste assets to get there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I did see Alvin's comment on that topic, like, with him explaining, like why we got like a 6th round pick for Reichel and Camp. He kind of mentioned, and I'll talk more in depth about it in that video that I'm planning for tomorrow. But he basically said, like those later round picks, we could always use them to get players. I saw that and I was like, don't you freaking dare get rid of that draft capital after you just got it. We're supposed to be keeping draft capital, not flipping it for stuff. Talking about like I think he was more so talking about the, what was it? The 2028 2nd round pick for Garland. I was like, don't you dare flip that for a player. Just keep it, draft somebody, or if you're going to flip it, get a higher draft pick. Don't flip it for a player. So I did not like those comments from him. Then again, I don't like a lot of shit that comes out of his mouth. So that I did not like whatsoever.
All right. Who gets fired first, Alvin or Foot?
Oof. I'm going to say Foot just because I think Rutherford, high on Alvin for whatever freaking reason. So between the two, I think it's going to be Foot for sure.
Yeah, I think I agree on that. I don't know. In the same interview that he did on 100% Hockey, I think the kind of question was, what is your assessment of Foot? And he said, he's had a really tough go, so it's hard to assess. And that was pretty much all he said, which from a guy like Rutherford is him not saying anything, which I think is a sign that he probably has not been happy with how Adam Foote has handled himself. And I think I always come back to the Manny Malhotra comparison, right? Manny Malhotra just won a damn hockey game with 9 forwards. You think Adam Foote could win a hockey game with 9 forwards? Not likely. So,
yeah,
I hope that early in the offseason, the Canucks fire Adam Foote and announce that Manny Malhotra will be getting called up.
As Rain likes to say, king of word vomit.
Patrick Alvin is the king of word vomit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you have Alvin, king of word vomit, and then you have Foot with the freaking word salad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I ripped on Foot. I think it was, what was it, the Dallas game where I was like, just watch. He's going to say it. We were right there. No, we freaking were not. Did you not see what the score was? But yeah, I absolutely hate when he says that now.
Then he blames Tolopilo for letting in a shot. He should have been ready for it.
Oh, geez. To that, I say, why don't you strap on some pads and throw on a mask and stand there?
Had someone showing up in my stream the other night. They're like, Russ, we need to get you some pads so you can get in the game. I'm like, you do not want to put me in that. That is not my position. That would end horribly wrong. I played beer league goalie once and I let in 16 goals. So that's all you need to know.
Oh, man. Yeah, no. Well, hey, if someone wants to give me some pads, hey, I'll freaking jump in. Sure.
Were you a goalie back in the day?
Yeah, that was my bread and butter, was goalie. Didn't get very far, unfortunately, because, and that's actually quite the story, because I remember when I was playing, there was a bit of a competition between me and this other kid. I'll do a little story time here.
Story time with Tyler.
Yeah. So basically, and from what I can remember anyway, I was one of the goalies and they were kind of transitioning out of the whole like rotation of goalies, everyone getting a chance to play goalie. And this was, I believe, the next level up. So they were kind of more so going with like having actual goalies. And there was already this other one who was already like a lock. And then there was me and this other kid who they were looking at, and they were going to go with me just based on because I knew the coach knew me, he knew how I played. And then this other kid's mother apparently went to the coach and I don't want to say convinced him, but like was like basically was a Karen. It was like da 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 da. You know, my kid da 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 da. So they ended up going with the other kid, and I was absolutely crushed. I was so upset about it. And you know, my dad was fucking furious about it because we got all this new equipment too. And then that kind of actually spelled the end of my hockey career. Actually, I ended up not playing again, at least ice anyway. So yeah, there is that. And yeah, so I kind of got stifled by the guy's mom because she was, you know, decided to be a Karen and was like, you know, my kid should do this. Da, 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 da. I mean, if I could go back and talk to this mother, I would have been like, you bitch. Like, I'd probably give her a piece of my mind. Been like, you are a, I won't say the actual words, what I would say to her on the stream, but I would go off on her. And yeah, it just really sucks that it happened. No, I could have possibly gone places. Not that I would have wound up in the NHL or anything like that, but I had a pretty good trajectory on what I was doing, and I absolutely loved playing goalie. I think I actually ended up moving into like street hockey and roller hockey afterwards. So, but it's been a very long time since I put on the pads. I think I still actually have a chest protector from street hocky in my garage, actually. So,
yeah. I grew up playing roller hockey. I didn't start playing ice hockey until I was 30. So I was kind of the opposite, where I played soccer from like age 5 to like, I think like 12 or something like that. I was actually a goalie in soccer, which is kind of funny, which is how I ended up wearing, when I started playing roller hockey, I actually wore 35 as a forward, which everyone thinks is weird because it's a goalie number, but it just so happened that I wore number 35. So I wore that as a centerman and as a defenseman. Yeah, I played roller hockey. I had so much fun playing roller hockey. Was so big back in the day in the Lower Mainland. It was so much fun. I'm actually a way better roller hockey player than I was ever an ice hockey player. But me and my co-host Dustin Boydell won the championship together in the roller hockey. I always have the trophy right here. The Sportsplex Roller Hockey League, spring 2006. So you can tell we're really, really old. And then there's a couple silvers hanging off of it too. So that was my kind of like thing. And then I started playing ice hockey, but I never had any Karens stopping me from playing ice hockey like you. That sounds terrible.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've been on ice or worn skates. And that's the thing too. I know Irvin plays pickup, and I would absolutely love to get back into pickup. But if I'm a goalie, you know, I don't have all that equipment except for the chest protector. Now I have street hockey stuff, but not actual ice stuff. And, you know, in case you're not aware, that shit's expensive.
Yes.
Nowadays, compared to like 15 years ago, buying all that stuff, that shit's gone up in price. So I'll admit, I was looking, I think maybe about a year ago, I was looking at stuff like secondhand. Even secondhand stuff is so expensive. But I would absolutely love to strap on the pads again and, you know, pull my Roberto Luongo. That's what I was compared to a lot. The way I played, a lot of people were like, "You play like Lou," which is actually kind of poetic because Lou is still my favorite Canuck of all time. So actually, I think a few times people likened me to Hasek, especially when I played ice hockey, because I had the actual cage mask. I didn't have the actual traditional goalie mask. I had the cage, and I looked like the Dominator. Yeah. So there's an old, very old name from back in the day, Dominic Hasek. Yeah, I remember him. I remember, heaven forbid, Dan Kluche. I know his name is kind of frowned upon, at least some Canuck fans anyway. I mean, I honestly, I didn't mind him. I'll never forget that glove save he made where he like literally like jumped out like he was a freaking shortstop and completely caught the puck when he was completely out of position for the net. But I very fondly remember that for sure.
I also remember him letting in a puck from center ice.
That too. Yeah. So he's done both. You know, he's made a really nice glove save and he also let in a puck from center ice.
The thing I was always sad about with Dan Cloutier is before he got to the Canucks, he was very much known for his fisticuffs. There's a couple of very famous Dan Cloutier fights. I think it was Tommy Salo. He tooled up Tommy Salo really good when he was playing. I can't remember who he was playing. But I don't think he ever got into a scrap when he was playing for the Canucks. But he also wasn't a Canuck for very long. I think it was only maybe 3 or 4 years he was a member of the Canucks, right? So didn't have time to get into it with somebody.
Yeah. Like, for some odd reason, I remember a lot of the goalies that played for the Canucks, which I guess kind of makes sense, you know, me being like a big goalie myself. I always paid attention to the goalies, you know. Like, I can rattle off, you know, guys like Garth Snow. This is really taking it back to like the 90s. Bob Essenza. I remember that name. Felix Potvin. I was a big fan of Potvin back in the day. I just thought his mask was so cool with the cat eyes and whatnot. I thought that was so cool. Even his pads, he had like the cat eyes on it.
Garth Snow, famous for beating up Marty McSorley after he clubbed Donald Brashear over the head. Took him down in the corner, blockers.
Yeah, man, we're really showing our age talking about guys like Garth Snow, Brashear, freaking Bob Essenza is a big name. Arturs Urbe, which I like to think of Urbe as like the first coming of Arturs Silovs for some reason.
There's also the Urbe. Awesome clip. It was speaking of Hasek as well. Gino Ojic takes a run at Hasek when he's playing in Buffalo. It was like in '98. Trevor Linnon's still on the team, so Gino Ojic runs over Hasek. So then Matthew Barnaby tries to run over Sean Burke, and Sean Burke is just like, "Heck no, bro!" and just starts taking it to him. Right? Barnaby didn't know what he was getting into. Full line brawl. Poor Trevor Linnon gets pulled out of the pile by Rob Ray. I looked at the clip. He was tangling with Rob Ray for a minute and a half. Poor Trevor Linden. That is not a guy you want to get into a tussle with because he is tough as they come. So that was a great clip. Full line brawl. And there was multiple line brawls too. And of course, Messie's in there as well. That piece of garbage, not doing anything. just standing around watching.
Yeah. Even Kevin Weeks, former goalie for the Canucks too. Now, of course, he's a analyst. And I noticed this the other day because I think he broke. Was it the Shen trade to the Islanders? I think he was the first on it. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But whenever he does those, report stuff, the way he holds the phone, you just see his forehead. I want to know what's up with that. Like, do you not know how to bring the phone down so you can actually see your full face? But I don't know. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that. I've always wondered, why do you do that? Like, are you like, is it like a gag or something? But I've always noticed that whenever he reports something, he has the phone like up here and he's like, huh?
It's that angle. You get the little high angle, so you get rid of that double chin.
Oh yeah, it's Irvin says it's a bit. I figured it was a bit, but I still think it's odd. Like, dude, come on. Oh, like how Friedman does bad abbreviations. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. But anyway, back to my point. Weeks, former Canuck goalie, obviously Alex Auld, another name that I just remembered. I could probably go on, but we'd be here all night at this point. The goalies that I can rattle off.
So, all the old-timey goalies.
So, yeah, we won't do that. Yeah. But Garth Snow really kind of stands out for me because that's when my fandom kind of started, is when he was a Canuck. Irvin. Zach mentions the Leafs. Huh?
Oh, every time Zach, there's a guy named Zach McNally who comes into our live streams, and every time he's a Leafs fan first, and he is a Canucks fan too. But every time there's a Maple Leafs game on at the same time, or even if there's not, he'll tell us when the next one is. And every time that Zach mentions the Maple Leafs, Irvin uses that emoji in chat. Zach.
Oh, that's
very
hilarious.
funny.
Oh yeah. See if there's anything else in the chat. I don't want to keep you for too long. Yeah, I do see it on my screen now.
I fixed it.
There we
Isn't
go.
that weird? It's funny how that goes.
Yeah.
Though the chat capture thing that I use through OBS works through it's called Ninja something. But I have your chat popped out on YouTube so I can still read chat, but then my OBS picks it up because that's how I get it to work with my OBS is I pop out the chat. So it's funny how that works.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I think we were kind of talking a little bit about because of course with Urban and Gerald doing their new channel, they were asking me about StreamYard and stuff like that, and we were talking about OBS a little bit, and I was like, that is probably way too complicated for me for OBS. I mean, for starters, I tried initially going with OBS, but it actually crashed my computer. So I was like, okay, well that's the end of that. But it just seems like it's very complicated with OBS.
It's one of those things like I think I would compare StreamYards and OBS. StreamYards is like having an Apple where everything is kind of done for you. Whereas with OBS, it's more like PC where like you can then just like Frankenstein everything together where my first season, the only thing I had was my laptop. I think what was I doing? The first season we did it, a lot of my stuff, I was literally using my phone. My cell phone was like one of my main things that I was using to produce the show. But my laptop, I just ended up buying a really good gaming laptop to run it because they're very good for video editing. So when I was a Fortnite streamer, I had upgraded my system because my old laptop was a piece of crap. So yeah, you definitely need a PC that's got a little bit of power to run OBS. I am pushing it to the max. It had some issues for a minute. I've kind of pared back. I tried to do too much and I was having some crashes and stuff. I tried to have, I had like my PlayStation attached to it. I had Zoom going. I had the stream running. And then I tried to bring on a guest and I crashed my computer 3 times in one stream. It was crazy. So,
oh, wow.
I think we've reached the maximum amount that I can do with OBS, but it is definitely fun with some of the kind of stuff you can do.
For sure. Like we were talking about, like the scoreboard earlier, actually being able to update it, midstream. Yeah. But yeah, and hey, if I end up upgrading to a better computer, I wouldn't be opposed to looking at OBS. But StreamYard, like you mentioned, it's like Apple. It's kind of has stuff built in already, makes it very user friendly for sure. But yeah. All right, let's see. Apparently, you highlighting chat is gotten Urban going like, what? Line change takeover by Russell.
That's freaking everyone out now. But that's the thing, even so, like with OBS, what you're seeing is what's called a virtual camera. It's OBS virtual camera, but OBS virtual camera doesn't pick everything up. So then I have to set it up separately from everything else. So like when I do in my stream, I can play that tank baby tank thing, but I can't do it. So I have to do it manually on this screen to make it work so that you guys can see it on this one. It's all very convoluted. Tyler, if you're going to make a guess, the Vancouver Canucks have 19 games left to finish this season. If you're going to hazard a guess, how many wins do they get in that final 19 games?
Sorry, sorry, I wasn't catching that. I was sending the link out because some people want to come on and talk. So say that again. Sorry.
If you had to guess how many games the Canucks will win in their final 19 games, how many wins are they going to get in their final 19?
Well, at the rate that they're going right now, they've got, 3 in this calendar year alone so far. Justin says 5. I'm gonna go 4. I'm gonna go lower than Justin. 4.
Tyler, are you just going to bring a bunch of people on? Is this why this link's out here? You're just going to do a free for all now?
Well, just a few people. I figure we'll go another 15 minutes, and then we'll call it there.
Kepner says 10 wins. Laugh out loud.
We haven't been able to do that together. There we go.
Yeah. Oh,
just watch.
Man.
I'm gonna watch a Ace Ventura movie after this. Just watch. Just based on that.
Ace Ventura.
All right. Well, let's bring these beautiful people on real quick. Let me figure out a good thing here. There we go. Oh, but boom. And let me get rid of this.
Rain and Connor, do your best Ace Ventura laugh.
Pass. Ross, I wasn't alive then, so.
Yeah. What do you mean? No. Connor, can you speak? No, your computer's doing the thing again. Connor, why the hell does your technology suck so much, bro? I can never get to talk about the Abby Canucks and the Rusty Dusty sideshow, and Connor Gill can never speak on stream.
Oh, Lord.
So, Rain, what's your hot take for the night?
Oh, God. Well, like I said, I called the guard. I did not think Garland was going to get moved. I mean, like, thank you for the credit, by the way, Tyler. I appreciate the shout out.
Yeah.
Look, I didn't think Kane was going to get moved. I mean, it should have been a red flag. Like, nobody wanted him 1 year ago at the summer. Like, good Lord, what did you think was going to happen? I still think I think they were 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know, I think they think that they can keep him and get him to stick around. So I was never convinced that they were actually going to look to move him. I mean, Nick Waugh went for a first-round pick. I mean, granted, he's got a year left at that point, but I mean, Nick Waugh went for a first. I love how Leaf fans are pissed that they paid a first-round pick for Scott Lund, and the best that they could get was a third in return a year later. That was hilarious.
I agree on that. Anytime the Leafs fans have pain, it's a good thing for us. I'm not a bitter Canucks fan.
Oh, there you go. Maybe I do have a hot take. I still think they take Ivan Stenberg if they get first overall.
Go with the Swedish guy, eh?
I still think they're going to take Ivan Stenberg.
Do you think they draft third overall, or do you think they get first overall?
Oh, no, they get third. They get third, which to me, you know, I've kept making this point. If they get third and Keaton Verhoff is available, you got to take Verhoff. I've never been a fan of you draft by position because Jesperi Kotkaniemi, he's a very cautionary tale for why you don't draft by position. But this is going to confuse me though if they do draft Keaton Verhoff. Which one of Hronek or Willander's moving?
Verhoff is a defenseman, right?
Yes, he's a right-hand shot. So which one of Hronek or? So which one?
So you answered my question already. You wouldn't take you wouldn't take Caleb Malhotra if you got the 3rd overall pick?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you gotta go Verhoff at 3, but then I'm gonna contradict myself. Which one of Verlander or Hronek are you gonna move? Because Victor Mancini, this group specifically scouted him and specifically requested that he was part of the trade package when they acquired Philip Hedl, when JT Miller was traded. Like, this was a guy they specifically wanted. So, and I think given, when the Phil Hronek trade went down, that trade was not viewed in the most positive of light. It was viewed as, okay, relatively decent player, top 4 guy. Why are we helping Detroit with a cap situation, given that they got more Sider they got to sign? Why are we trading a 1st-round pick, given that you have no business doing that? So that trade initially, like, while we love Hronek now and how he's in the running for captaincy, that trade wasn't viewed in the most positive of light at the time of the trade. And then Tom Verlander, remember all that drama that led up to him signing the LC, the supposed, signing bonus disagreements or whatever? So I just think, which one's going? Because if you're drafting Verhoff, somebody's going. Somebody on that right side's going.
Do we have another 5th person in chat, right? Or in the... Oh, no, they're gone now.
Oh, we had Urban backstage.
Oh, then
He'll probably jump back on.
Hi, Connor.
You scared him
there
away.
you go. Now
You
you
scared
can
him
talk.
away, Connor. You scared him away, Connor.
Yeah, no. I think I know exactly why Irvin doesn't want to come on because I want to absolutely slander him for what he said earlier. # trading.
Buddy,
What did he say?
Buddy, I got my popcorn and the rotisserie chicken. All we need is the parking lot now.
Did he say trade Ogren? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Yes, he said
Urban,
in the chat
did a
earlier, I'm not
hashtag.
making this up. # trade Ogren. Frick all the way off, Irvin. I'm not having that. Sorry, guys. Sorry, my emotions got in the way there.
Oh, wow. Swervin, did you hear that? What Connor just said to you?
I missed it.
He said frick all the way off.
To me?
Yeah, to you specifically. # Trey Ogren, and you set him off.
Because I've been trolling him.
Yeah.
What was it you said, Irvin? Oh, I wanted to get a reaction out of you. Well, you got one, and more.
You caved.
Yeah, sorry guys. Like I said, my computer let me down again. But yeah, great to talk with you guys. Yeah, that was really interesting, actually, what you were saying there, Rain. But actually, can I just actually understand the premise of what you're saying? What these picks and the drama that came around it. Is it just a case of you're saying that whoever we draft next season, someone's going to have to move over if John for that right side? Is that what you're saying?
Not initially, but I do think eventually down the road, if Verhoff proves that he's ready, you are going to have to move somebody, unless they don't think that Mancini is going to live up to the hype. Because like I said, they specifically scouted him. Like, this wasn't a guy in which, they drafted and maybe they're like, ooh, no. They specifically asked for him to be part of the trade package in the JT Miller trade. And I just think, you can't have 3 defensemen. You can't have one of Hronek, Verlander, or Verhoff sitting. So, but it's not going to happen initially unless Verhoff proves that he is ready to make the jump.
See, that's the thing, guy. You see, that's the thing, Rain. Like, what if we do end up in that situation where we end up with the 3rd draft and we likely end up getting him because, exactly, because I feel like that's exactly the kind of anticipation that management does not want.
Yes, absolutely.
It's either certainly, yeah. I'm totally on board with getting McKenna now, considering, in spite of how he had done the World Junior.
I'll preface with this. I think they should get McKenna. I think they will take Stenberg though, if it is 1.
Yeah, but that's if we can get number 1, because did you see when?
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. Sorry, we're interjecting each other at the worst time.
Right?
2 guys trying to go through a door. No, I insist.
No, you go. No, I was just saying, Rain, very quickly. If you saw Russ's stream earlier when he simulated the lottery, and guess who came out as number 1?
Oh, was it Toronto?
No, the Flyers.
Well, I remember on TSN, was it TSN's trade deadline show? They had Toronto going 1.
Yep.
And the entire that entire studio was like 1 second away from lighting that sucker on fire. So
Even now,
Can I ask Swervin a question?
to make about him. My God. Yep. Go on, Ross.
So Swervin, I have a question for you.
Go for it.
What's worst case scenario for the draft lottery? Is it Florida drafting first overall?
No, before. Yeah. I was gonna say before you even start finish. I was gonna say Florida or Toronto.
Yeah, Florida or Toronto.
Yeah,
that's the 2 worst.
But
what about Chicago?
For me, Toronto edges it out by this much.
Yeah. I think I would say if Florida ends up winning the draft lottery and drafting number 1 overall, it's further proof that the NHL is scripted.
Totally.
By the way, this is my first time meeting Irvin. Nice to meet you, by the way.
I'm trying to remember.
No, I've never met you before until now.
At least face to face.
I mean, I've seen you on streams many times.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
As well. That's okay.
Yeah,
but I mean,
actually, guys, if you don't mind me asking, if I, could get your take on it, whether I'm talking complete nonsense or whether it is possible about, when I said in Russ's stream earlier about McDavid potentially holding out for a move to Pittsburgh if Crosby retires and Edmonton fails to win the cup. What do you guys think?
Perhaps not to Pittsburgh, but I think it's definitely in the realm of possibility.
I don't know about Pittsburgh, but
Edmonton will have failed McDavid for the next 2.5 years.
I just think there is no way he is going to stay there if they not only fail to make the final this season, but actually continue to fail to address their issues. Because he'll be 30 next year.
Yeah.
And this is around the time in their career where they'll have reached their peak, but eventually there'll be a slight drop after that. So McDavid, I feel, has got a big to make.
So
to me, the biggest mistake that Connor McDavid could have made was signing that 2-year extension at the same cap hit at 12.5. Because how often have we seen players holding back money so that their GM can build around them? How often has that worked? Like, have we seen GMs actually get smart and use that extra cap space? Not to
you guys are familiar with the term "show me deal"?
Yeah.
Show me deal. They usually refer to it as with players. Like, we'll give you 1 year, but show us what you got. This is the opposite. McDavid was telling the organization, "Show me we can win, or else I'm gone after those 2 years."
Mm-hmm.
There's just I just cannot see him staying if they continue to fail to solve their issues. And especially, recently there's been a lot of discussion about Knobloch seems to have kind of lost the dressing room a little bit, and chances are he could be gone too.
That's the thing we heard with Jay Woodcroft. That was the same thing. He went 2-13 and his ass was out the door. So
yeah.
At some point,
the only reason Knobloch is there is because he's McDavid's coach. It's the same reason the Canucks hired Foote. They tried to appease Hughes, and so they brought in Knobloch because Knobloch and McDavid had a history, and look how it's gone. I mean, they've made 2 Stanley Cup finals, but they didn't win because they don't play. They don't have the depth. They don't have the defense. They don't have the goaltending.
Nope. My aunt used to say, I didn't know what smart is, but I can spot stupid a mile away, and I can smell desperation if you shot me into outer space.
Oh my God, that's a good one, Rain. I'd never heard that before.
There's a reason that desperation is the strongest odor in the universe.
The Oilers, for all the good that they are in an unenviable position that we were in when we had Quinn Hughes, where you have this amazing player, but you have no other way of improving your team other than trading. And if you have nothing to trade, then you've got nothing, because the only other option is drafting, which requires 3 to 5 years to really pay it off.
Yep.
I think that Bouchard deal was definitely a shoot themselves in the foot moment, because for him, he's scoring points, but the guy cannot defend. for his life.
No, there's
What
a
about
reason he
Frederick?
was not on the Olympic team. Like, there's a reason he was not on there. Like, like you said, Connor, the guy cannot defend if his life depended on it.
No,
And
he can't.
I've always viewed Evan Bouchard in this sense, even when it's in his peak. For every 3-4 good plays that comes, for every 3-4 good plays there is with Bouchard, there's always like a boneheaded gaff that just kind of comes with him that you're just forced to deal with.
He's Edmonton's chaos giraffe.
And you just go, oh. And actually, ironically, I view JT Miller the same way. You know, even when Miller and his Canuck hype, he was the same way. For every 3-4 good plays that he makes, there's always a boneheaded gaff that comes with him. And this is just this is just an anecdote. So this would have been, oh God, what game was this? It was the game against Columbus where they're down 4-1 and came back to win it in overtime, I think it was. So Miller had 3 points that night. But I remember went to a bar afterwards, and everybody talked about in the bar, they didn't talk about Miller having 3 points. You know what they talked about? They talked about his brutal giveaway that led to one of Columbus's goals in the second period. Like, they didn't care about the fact that Miller had a 3-point night. All they cared about was that ridiculous gap that he had that led to the Miller goal. And that pretty much summarizes JT Miller's stint in Vancouver.
I mean, to me, Rain, that's a teeny, like a very little bit, a bit harsh in the sense that people focus on the negatives, but at the same time, when you have that,
disagree with that. That is certainly true. It's an anecdote.
There's a high level of expectation. The problem is people expect no less than a good or great performance, and if there's a big mistake made, and especially one that's as completely crazy as the ones that Miller had made, obviously, then yeah, you can understand why people would focus on that. But yeah, for me, definitely, I just thought I'd kind of finish up by saying, I'll say it again. I think the Edmonton Oilers are genuinely in a panic mode, especially if you look at the Pacific Division and see they're in a 3-way tussle with the Ducks and the Vegas Golden Knights, and the teams below them in the wildcard positions. One of them's actually ahead of them in terms of points. It's just the fact that they're only ahead of them. They only get in ahead of them by virtue of the divisional spot. But
doesn't that show you how much Pacific Division sucks and how it needs to be a 1-8 playoff format? God, I hate this division format playoff thing.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree with you.
God, I hate it. But you know what's ironic
down
though?
the pipeline with San Jose and Anaheim.
You know what's ironic though? I take Drysdale at 14-4 than I do Austin Matthews at anything.
Oh gosh.
Because at least the guy shows up. Like Drysdale at least shows up. I think that's the big difference.
Nah, I suppose I can't argue with that. In spite of how much I despise the guy as well, I can't. He does show up. I'll give him that. Yeah.
What are you pulling up, Russell?
This is the standings right now. I don't know if you guys can even see it. It's tiny. Let's see. I'll try and make it bigger.
Oh, there we go.
Just
wow, who would have had
Tyler, you gotta
Anaheim
highlight Russell.
top of the division going into it?
Anaheim.
Wow.
There you go.
First place.
I just want to.
Place. Edmonton Oilers, third place. But they have played 63 games. They got 68 points. And if we scroll down, you can see the Seattle Kraken and San Jose Sharks are 66 and 67. They've played 61 and 62 games. So theoretically, if both these teams can win the games they have in hand on the Edmonton Oilers would fall out of the wild card spot.
They would, yeah.
Okay, that brings up something I just thought of. I just thought of this. LA had a really confusing trade deadline to me. So they bring in Artemi Panarin, which I get they needed to do that. But then you ship out Mr. Stanley Cup Final and Corey Perry? Like, okay.
So they brought in Panarin before Fiala got hurt. Fiala's injury changed everything at the Olympics. As soon as they lost Fiala, they knew it was over.
To be honest, Rain, I don't think Perry that made that much of an impact at LA, to be honest with you.
I know. I'm just saying that as a joke.
Tampa know exactly what they're doing. They firmly believe that they will make another cup final with Corey Perry. Unfortunately, what that also means is they'll also end up losing it again.
True.
But to your point, Rain, I would say that Panarin is a move for going forward.
Yes.
For the future. Whereas trading away Perry is a move for this year, meaning that they kind of figure they're out of it.
Yeah, that's true. It's
Can you
still
believe
fleecing,
Corey
though.
won this year? Corey Perry.
Oof.
It's amazing that how a few of him and Ovechkin and a few others, seem to have kind of completely defied the logic that players usually retire when they're in their late 30s. They're at 40 minimum.
Yeah.
Still going. That's incredible.
Perry's game
Does
has
Ovi
changed a
play
lot.
next year?
Oh, that's a big if with Ovechkin.
No, I think yeah,
he's
go on.
trash.
Sorry.
He's not great. He still has not started a single. He's never been on the ice for a defensive zone faceoff. He's the only player in the whole league that has not been on the ice for a defensive zone faceoff. He is Ovechkin. Yeah, he has not been on the ice for a defensive zone faceoff. That's insane.
Wow.
He's getting the Sedin treatment.
I mean, look, obviously he's at least bringing up a goal or two, so I suppose that's good enough for him. But yeah, I would say probably this could be very much, if he doesn't retire this season, it's got to be next season.
Yeah, 100%.
Wouldn't that just be amazing if he ends up with, what is it? I think recently he had got 920 goals. Now he's like, that'll take a long ass time for anyone to ever beat a record like that. It's insane.
If ever again.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's never again.
I gather that his dream is 1,000, but it's a pretty big long shot at this point.
Oh, that's a
But I mean, if it had not been for two lockouts and a COVID shortening,
yeah,
he could have been there.
Yeah, that's true. He really could have been there. God, that's incredible, guys. Yeah.
Crosby. Alexander Ovechkin sits at 921 goals right now.
920.
Yeah, he ain't hitting 1,000.
So we need 79. We'd have to play two more years minimum, and probably more.
And chances are Washington chances are the Capitals will miss out as well on the playoffs. That I think is only going to ensure he'll eventually call it quits.
Well, when you trade Mr. Capital and John Carlson, like that's telling you you're not making the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I think
that's the thing is if Ovi wasn't there, like John Carlson is Mr. Capital.
Oh, that's interesting because I feel like many would have probably said, "Oh, Tom Wilson is Mr. Capital," because he's the one, along with Ovechkin, that grabs all the headlines.
Yeah, but he's been there forever.
Yeah, he has. I think was it 2004, 2005 he was drafted by the Washington Capitals. I remember. Like, that's insane, lads.
Yeah,
he's never been anywhere else but Washington.
Never.
Yeah, him and Obi teammates for, I think they said 17 years.
17 years.
No.
Oh my goodness.
And that's why Obi was so crushed about the trade. Like, he was emotionally crushed about it.
Oh, that
almost kind of reminds me of Henrik Lundqvist when Matt Zuccarello got traded. Remember Lundqvist cried when he was asked about the trade? Like, you could see tears coming out of his face because that's how much he loved him. It's like, damn.
Did you hear Lundqvist cried when JT Miller got traded as well? It was tears of joy. Lundqvist did not like JT Miller.
Oh God. I wonder if I have to show this. I mean, Tyler's already seen this.
Savage. That was savage, Russ.
I have a question for everyone. What's more likely to be broken? Alexander Ovechkin's goal total of 921 or Sidney Crosby's 20 goal seasons? Because he's had 20 goals every single season in his entire career.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh.
It's point per game. He's been a point per game every single season.
Gerald, did you hear that question?
Yes, I did. I'm glad I got in. Hey, Ross, how's it going, brother?
Hey, Gerald, welcome.
Will he
started in the league in 2005-06, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So if he finishes the season like he is, he's a point per game right now. That's 21 years with a point per game. Is anyone ever going to break that? Or will Ovechkin's more likely to
So
get
they're
broken
gonna
with
need
921 goals?
longevity. Both will need longevity.
That's a
And
hard one to answer. It really is.
I will say the point per game.
I think point per game too.
Yeah, I'd say point per game as well.
Because the goals total, the Gretzky record stood for so long,
Yeah.
and we thought it would never be broken. Much largely because the style that was played in the 80s was one that totally went away.
Then the dead puck era of the 90s,
Yeah.
like that.
Now, that being said, my prediction of what I said is largely predicated on the fact that the skill level of players now and how they've cracked the code on goalies once again. So,
Oh, that's
yeah,
true.
we'll see.
That is
Yeah,
true.
I second that. You're dead right on that, Irvin.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's true. Didn't think about that.
You guys are aware of what Chris Kreider said on the What Chaos podcast?
What did he say?
He was talking about that, he wasn't really that great, prolific of a goal scorer earlier in his career, and then he kind of broke out for 50 one year, and it was because the analytics said that if you do a cross slot pass and catch a one-timer and shoot it right away, then you got a 33% chance of scoring. And if you cross the slot twice and then one time it, it's a 66% chance. And case in point, that's why we're seeing like the rise of players like Bedard and Celebrini, because they had that much skill offensively. And the rules, and also the post-lockout rules have changed in the favor of players like that. So,
boy, I just lost my title, Big Brain, at this point.
I just memorize things, to be honest
That's
with
so
you.
interesting to hear that, actually. It really is. I mean, maybe future generations might get really close to breaking these points per season or goals set by Alexander Ovechkin. But like I said, again, certainly, I mean, hopefully all going well, maybe we'll never see another NHL lockout ever again. Then again, you just don't know these things, do you? But certainly, but yeah, certainly, I'd be well open to the idea of somebody being able to even match their record or even emulating it.
Okay, back to Russell's question. Predictions.
Gerald, what's your answer? What's more likely to be broken? 921 goals or point per game for 21 seasons?
Point per game. It's definitely point per game. Looking at Crosby and seeing how he's still playing right now, I think he's 37. I think it's not that Ovechkin can't do it. He just doesn't have he'll have to play at least I don't know.
It's at least another 2 years.
Seasons.
Gotta be
at least a couple seasons.
Well, at least 2
And
years,
if he's-
but it has to be at like a 40-goal pace is the other thing. It has to be
But I
2 years
think
at 40
the question
goal
more
pace.
is, so in the future, which one of the two records will be touched?
Oh God.
If it wasn't Ovechkin and Crosby, with the new kids coming up, like you have Celebrini, he's already top 5 within his second season. He could potentially, touch some of those records. And we also have like kids that haven't even come into the league yet. But I don't think the new kids are as dedicated or as built like Celebrini. I mean, his father, for God's sakes, is he builds athletes.
An athletic trainer.
He built
Professional.
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
There is no Steph Curry without his dad. So yeah, I mean, if anyone, it'd be Celebrini, I would say.
Tyler, what do you think? Point per game gets beaten or 921 goals?
I'm gonna go with point per game as well. So
I just did some quick maths. The only
But
active
it's
player
about to
right now that
mention-
has scored a more goals per game in their career so far, and I know Connor Hill's not going to like this. It's Austin Matthews is scoring at a .62 goals per game. He's obviously much more injury prone. He has missed way more time.
Yep.
So that's the thing against him. Ovi scores at a .59 goals per game. Matthews is at a .62. Right.
Remember
So
when
the
Patrick Laine was dubbed to be the next Alex
gonna be
Ovechkin?
the
Boy,
finished
that went out the
Ovechkin.
window real quick.
Oh, we are now hosting line change, guys. It's all us.
Oh.
I never actually got to mention, while we're here, by the way, awesome stuff, Irvin, that you and Gerald are doing on Headspace Hockey. It was a fun first episode, and I'll make sure to be making sure to tune into plenty more as we go along.
For sure. Appreciate that.
Awesome.
Just for the record, too, Gerald, I just did the math. Obviously, very early in his career, but Macklin celebrating scoring at a .43 goals per game. So obviously, like I said, still very young, but he's also a full, that's like quarter goal per game less than Ovi scoring at. But I would say that I'd say if there's a player that's going to break the 21 seasons at a point per game, Celebrini is the guy to do that.
Well, much like Ovechkin.
Oh, so
I was going to say, much like Ovechkin, Celebrini could do it if he's within a shitty division.
Yeah.
Because I think of Ovechkin's 900 goals, I'm pretty sure like 300 of them were against the Atlanta Thrashers.
Yeah.
That's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean.
Marcus Naslund had a 6-point game against the Atlanta Thrashers, so I'm sure he probably could have scored some more goals.
The only team with the dishonor of losing their franchise twice.
Yeah.
Hey Russ, since you're looking up the stats, is there any other player that would be aside from Austin Matthews that would be close?
No one. The active players that are in the top 100 for goals right now are Sidney Crosby, but he's only at 652. Evgeny Malkin is at 527. John Tavares 516. Patrick Kane 501. Corey Perry 460. Brad Marchand 451. Anze Kopitar 447. Leon Draisaitl's on the list, but he's only at about 0.5 goals per game. He's got 432. Austin Matthews 427 goals in 687 games. So he's the only one in the top 100 that is scoring at a higher clip than Ovechkin did. But like I said, he does not have the same longevity as a result of not being able to stay healthy.
No, and I think we're too late already at this point. I think we're already too late. I mean, Matthews has been in the league for a decade now.
Yeah.
I mean, since we're talking about Matthews,
can't hear you, G.
Oh.
That's you, Rain. I can hear.
My mic is working.
Oh,
yeah, we can all hear.
My mic's working.
It's your tech again.
Rain, did you break your stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a common occurrence.
Since we're talking about Austin Matthews, like, what do you guys think about? Here, we'll bring Rain back in. Oh, he doesn't want to come on.
Matthews from Peterson. They're going to say. You gonna say that?
I don't know, because I've been watching Trade Deadline and I've been looking around the internet and all that. There's inklings of Matthews being moved somewhere. I mean, there could have been a chance during the trade deadline, or there could have been, it could be in the off season. What do you guys think, and where would be a good destination for Matthews? Because, I think what the Leafs said was, at any time, if Matthews was wanting to leave, he wouldn't do the Leafs dirty. He just tell him they'll try to find somewhere, let's trade you for a fresh start, because come on, man, the Leafs are pretty close to the bottom. And would a player like Matthews want to continue to captain a team like this? And with the media sort of scrutiny that is up there, it's a lot of pressure being a captain of the Leafs, because it's apparently the center of the whole hockey universe. So where would you guys think
like, will he want to move, and where would be a good spot?
Can I go first?
Yep.
Yeah. As for will he want to move? I mean, it's not looking great for the Leafs right now. Tavares is not getting any younger, and they don't really have any great blue line prospects. So, they've had that decade of futility in the playoffs, and just the vibe check when you see Matthews talk. I don't know, maybe just a really bad resting bitch face, but you can tell he's getting tired of it. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw his first game in Vegas. He was like, "All right, well, I'm done answering questions about Mitch Marner. I want to talk about the game now." He's so sick of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
As for where he's going to go, I mean, maybe.
I got my pick.
Where do you think, Rain?
My pick's LA.
Wow.
I think LA.
Yeah.
All right,
Erwin, where
here's
did
the
you
hot
say?
take. Austin Matthews is going to go to Arizona.
I always thought that when they were around.
Yep. But this will be the new Arizona team because there's no, the NHL wants to put a team in Arizona. They worked way too hard to keep the Coyotes there.
Yeah.
So the moment they expand and they go back into Arizona, the Leafs leave Austin Matthews untouched or unprotected in the draft, and Austin Matthews goes back home.
Because he's never gone long on a contract, has he? It's always been like 5-year bridges.
I think he's still got 3 years left. 2-3 years.
That seems around the timeline for expansion into Arizona too.
But do you add just one, or do you add a second one at that point?
There's probably, I would say, they're going to expand.
Probably
2 more teams.
Houston, probably Atlanta.
Agreed.
Yeah, you
right?
might.
As long as someone's signing a paycheck.
Hey, so Austin Matthews is signed until 27-28.
Is it the same timeline?
So still 2 years then.
Is it the same timeline as McDavid?
Let me check what McDavid is at. Give me a sec here.
Is McDavid on his new deal this year?
Yeah, because he signed a 2-year already.
Yes.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, 27-28. So both of them are going to be
Oh shit.
free agents in the offseason of 28.
Oh Jesus.
And if Russ's hunch is correct and Arizona gets another team, then both of them can play together.
Well, first they need a new building in Arizona, and given how
I thought they were in the works for it.
They're working on it. And then to answer the question, Austin Matthews signed a 3-year deal, a 5-year deal, and a 4-year deal. He's never signed a long-term deal with Toronto.
He's always got one foot out the door.
Yep.
I think they call that a situationship.
Yep. Oh Lord.
I think that's what the kids are calling it.
Ugh. Well, as the baby of the group, I concur.
Gerald, where do you think Austin Matthews shows up? Do you think it's Arizona too, or what do you think? Something else?
I don't know. I've actually never really thought about where when I asked you that question or asked everyone that question. It just seems that it could be time. And given, it's post Olympics, he got the gold medal. People have been chirping on him about not being able to win anything, kind of like McDavid, and not even be able to do that on the international stage. It just sucks, right? And how much of that toxicity is he going to be able to take from the media in Toronto? If I was him, I'd be like, screw this. I have fans in the US. Why not go somewhere in the US? But it definitely would not be in Toronto. I would say somewhere that the media is less focused on the hockey team anywhere that's less focused. So you have, I don't know, the NFL or you have the NBA. You have more than one sport, which the Toronto actually has the Raptors, but that's it. Like you have the Raptors and then and the Leafs. And you know, it obviously the focus is going to be on the Leafs. So I would say, you know, I'll go out there. I'll go up on a limb and say he's going to reunite with Marner in Vegas.
God.
He misses Marner.
Woo!
Everyone wants to play for Vegas, so we'll leave it at that.
Well, you know what? You know what? As I said one time before, you better live up to the hype in Vegas, because if you don't, they will chew you up and spit you the fuck out of that city. So,
Tyler, what's your answer? Where does Matthews end up?
I'm gonna go with LA. I've seen some rumblings about maybe LA being a potential destination.
well, I think LA is an easy.
I don't really
pick
put
because
too
of
much thought into
Kopitar
it.
retiring.
You know, it's Matthews.
I think LA is an easy pick because of Kopitar retiring and questions about what Quentin Byfield is, how he hasn't quite lived up to being the second overall pick. LA just feels like an easy choice, given that you got the Lakers, you got the Clippers. Like the Kings wouldn't be the main focus if he were to go to LA.
Yeah.
So
Kempner has a
works,
question
definitely.
in chat.
Uh,
Matthews for EP40. You do it?
It's a lateral move, but I mean,
Whoa.
would you want to go from one
I
fishbowl
don't
to
know.
another? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
That might be even more of a shithole.
Well, look at
I
this.
didn't say shithole,
Matthews,
by the way. I said fishbowl. I said fishbowl. Fishbowl. let me be clear.
okay, A, both of them have a no move clause.
Mhm.
And B, Matthews is at 13.25 and Petey's at 11.6. Would you be willing to throw in an extra almost 2 mil for that? I don't think so.
No.
I'd be on Team Russ, and I'd be like, yeah, his defensive skills. Like, I'd rather have someone that's more defensive.
Gerald, that's the
minded.
crazy thing, though. If you look at the block shots by forwards, Matthews is always up there, and I never expect him to be the kind of guy who get that kind of a stat. But usually Matthews this season has been right behind EP40 when it comes to block shots. So their game comparably is almost very similar. I mean, Petey's more of a setup guy, Matthews more of a shooter. But on the defensive side of things, Matthews has been like epically responsible for the last probably 4 years of his career, which is weird. I never expected it.
That is very odd. That is a very odd stat.
Yeah,
But
I would not have
would
guessed that one.
you? But the extra money would Aquaman be able to be like, that's an extra? Sorry, I was just eyeballing it.
Austin Matthews was partying with Cash Patel. That's enough to get on this team. So
Oh,
the FBI shuts down the stream. We know why.
oh
Boy.
Oh my God.
Does it ever feel
On
like
that-
these American
On
players
that
are not
note,
long
go a
past
few
it?
more minutes, and then I got some stuff I got to do.
What were you saying, Swerve?
Oh, I said, does it ever feel like these American players are just not long for this team? Just, I may be grasping here because I can't read their minds, but I don't know. I wonder if, like you look at Connor Garland. I think he was only really staying because he had buddies here, and then once Quinn Hughes was gone, it was just kind of like, I'm out of here. Because Connor Garland was in that picture with Cash Patel and Evander Kane, if you remember. And one thing I always noticed about him is he always, during the anthems, has his hand over his heart with his eyes closed. So the passionate American. So
Yeah, Kepner Canucks saying Matthews' contract is shorter too, right? So that might be.
Oh, that is
Aquaman
true.
like Mike like that, right? Because Aquaman is trying to get money off the books right now. It appears.
That is very true.
Well, the other thing too, tonight on my stream, we did the doubleheader. I sometimes we read from Never Boring, the up and down history of the Vancouver Canucks, and we read the chapter called "What If Justice Wedge Had Ruled for Tom Gallardi and Ryan Beatty instead." And here I'll read a part for you guys. This is the very end of the chapter. It says, "It's not that Francesco doesn't care. Part of the problem is he cares too much. On several occasions, he's described himself as a Canucks fan, someone who carries a lifelong love affair with the team. Clearly, he loves owning the Canucks, but fandom isn't exactly a prerequisite for successful ownership. The best owners all care about their teams, but they share one other trait. They know what they don't know, and they don't pretend otherwise. As for the Canucks, there's a bodies strewn all over the hockey world, capable executives and managers who couldn't help make things work in Vancouver. Maybe this time ownership has it right. Maybe Rutherford et al. Can succeed where others have failed, and the lost decades will be remembered as just another curiosity in the Canucks' colorful history. If that's the case, well, there's room for another statue around Rogers Arena."
Wow.
Love it. Love it.
Aquaman's the problem.
He is the problem, though.
I've
It's the
said it
truth.
many, many times.
Yep.
And do you ever feel like he just really plays it safe as far as ownership goes?
Well, in
Yeah,
reading
because-
this book, the main thing that comes up all the time is the Canucks were not purchased for any other reason than to be a part of his corporate structure. The Canucks were purchased to be a tax write-off.
Yeah,
he can use the Canucks to get rid of bad stuff that's happening in his real estate business.
And he's thought of as very wealthy,
Which is a
and
lot.
obviously he is compared to us. He has money that's unfathomable to me, but I'm sure that a lot of his equity is not liquid. It's like stuck in real estate, and so sure it appears that he's got like multi-billions, but maybe not as much as we think. You know what I mean?
I would say he is cash poor, and everything else is thrown into his restaurant side of things. His like restaurants. I mean, he does well. He has that few that everyone has been wanting to go to. I mean, how do you expect Kuzmenko to sign here, right? You got a dinner at this luxury, fine dine steakhouse, as opposed to like a Joey's at like in Edmonton, right? But
Yeah.
sorry, that's another story. I'm just taking a jab at it. But investment wise, like his real estate, I know people that are in plumbing, that are in construction, that they don't like Aquilini either, because they're not getting paid on time, and they're not getting paid for things that, initially they want this way. And our buddies that do the plumbing, they said, hey, you shouldn't do it at this point. You should do it last. And they end up doing it all over again, basically for free. But because they're the Aquilinis, they can't do shit to mess it up, because, word spreads, then they're screwed, right? Yeah. So I don't like how he's using his power over minions like us, or fans that are paying for this. Like, I mean, Justin probably can attest to this. Like his leadership or his management for even the Canucks are petty. Like, why is that? Because everything is cash to him. The concessions themselves this season have gone up 20-30%, mainly because the team isn't doing that well. If you go to the Canucks games, yeah, the tickets are plummeting, but the concessions, you're looking at $10 for a bottle of water, man.
Yeah.
And how much does that cost? The popcorn? Oh my God. I don't work for the Canucks. I can say this, but they usually have that bucket with the player. And every year, this like around January, because Bo Horvat was traded, because JT Miller was traded, and then Quinn Hughes was traded, the bucket has to be changed mid-season. So everyone who has that bucket going into the arena used to be able to get free popcorn. And how much does popcorn cost you? It's like popping kernels. Like a bucket of popcorn,
cents.
even at
it's fuck all.
Yeah. So they would be like, they go back to the regular, it's popcorn bucket. So not the collector's bucket, but they still charge the collector's bucket charge for the popcorn. And this year it's even worse. Ever since Quinn Hughes was traded, they added a new one mid-season because it was December. So they're like, okay, we still have a good 4 months. Let's make a new batch. So there's one for PD, one for Demko, and they alternate games on the bucket. So even if you got a new PD bucket, you could be going to a Demko game and not be able to use your bucket. Like, it's down to that pettiness that I don't like about Aquaman. So
the shit you learn as somebody who's not from the
the
coast.
Aquilini's are estimated at a $3 billion net worth. And then comparatively, you look at like Stan Kroenke, who owns the Avalanche as well as the Rams and I believe the Denver Nuggets. His family is worth about $12 billion. So it's way more budget. And so case in point, you look at like why don't we have a practice facility? Why can't the Aquilinis handle a couple seasons of losing? It's because comparatively to other owners, they're a nickel and dime organization.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at Ryan Smith, who just spent $1.2 billion on Utah. Like, that man is flooded with money.
Well, and then not only did he spend the money on the team, he also just completely renovated the stadium in a summer, and the Canucks couldn't get fucking seats replaced in time for the start of the season. But they completely reconstructed their stadium to fix all the sight lines.
Yeah, the Aquilinis, they put a lot of their money into the premium experience, which Ray knows all about because he went to Club Penguin the other day.
Do you know what the sad part of that is? I can never go to a hockey game and view it the same way ever again after doing that. Like, I can never.
Tell us all about it. Tell us all about it. I want to know how it was.
Oh God! Well, first of all, I'm pretty sure I died in a food coma from all the food I had up there. Like, well, first of all, I get there at 5:00 because I was with my buddy who's like 6'3" and like 4,000 pounds. No, anyways, so we get there at 5:00. Like, people were already lining up to get in, and so you have like your sushi bar, best sushi I've ever had. It was prime rib, seafood, like Cajun shrimp, like just all the ridiculously bougie. This is the most bougie shit you could do. And listen, I've done some real bougie shit in my life, but this trumps it all at this point. And we got so mesmerized by all the food we were eating because we just kept slamming the tables. Then my buddy says to me, he's like, "Oh yeah, I just realized we still have a hockey game to watch." But I mean, it was awesome. Like, the view was way better than I expected. Like, I thought it was gonna be shit given how high up you are at that point.
No, because Rain, you went down and there's about 2 rows of seats inside within that box, and you sit down there. Every single seat, the ice looks like your TV.
Yeah,
it's that crazy, and I love that view.
Never thought that. The one thing I will complain about, man, like, we were like in the first row, like right along where the glass is. You have like no foot room whatsoever, so it's like you're constantly like twisting your feet the entire time, and it's like, okay, so I'm gonna not be able to walk for a bit after this. So
no, but typically when you're in the box, why would you be sitting in these seats anyways? You're probably going to be there for maybe a period, maybe the third. Come on, man, you'd be up there at the buffet.
Which is pretty much what we
and just standing overlooking the ice, right? So
yeah, we probably had a combined 14 plates of food between us.
Oh my God.
Well, hey, you got to get your money's worth. Like, listen, here's a tip for going to a buffet. Don't waste time with the salad bar. Don't waste time with the little shit. You go for the high money items, which is what we did. Like, so we just got like 4 things of prime rib. We got 4 plates of sushi, 4 plates of seafood, and you go for the high end stuff because you got to get your money's worth. Because listen, as somebody who has to travel like 4 or 5 hours to go to a hockey game, I'm getting my fucking money's worth.
Did you bring a Tupperware? Just packing it all in.
I cannot confirm or deny that. I played
Hey, sorry. How did you get tickets for that? How much did you pay for them?
I paid $275 a ticket.
Oh, ouch.
Well, given that they resell for like $500,
Yeah,
they're
that is
expensive.
crazy.
They're expensive.
Oh, you bet your ass Rain had Tupperware, man.
Listen, my mother says I can
to
sniff out a
watch a
deal
loss,
and just
eh?
go tomorrow, but yeah, it's like, okay. Because I even said, this has to really blow my mind in order for me to like justify spending this amount of money, which I mean, I guess it did for my buddy because he was too busy being mesmerized and he forgot we were going to a hockey game. It's like,
So you missed the opening face-off?
Oh, no, we watched it. We watched it all.
Okay.
No, he was just joking.
Oh,
about
no, dude, he was there early, man. He messaged me at, I think game time was at, what was it?
7.
7?
Yeah.
And this guy messaged me at 5, and he's like, wow, this is bougie. I was like, what the hell? You're already at the game?
Well, they let you in 2
So
hours early.
You got to get your money's worth, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You're here on the 14th, right? So
of April, yes.
I mean, with tickets plummeting so much, I don't have the game. My last game is against the Kraken, which is next Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But with tickets going so low, who's down to going to that game? Let's all meet there. Let's all go have a hell of a time at Rogers. I'm sure tickets are going to be like $30 for that game.
I think I only spent $40 on the tickets, so I was very little.
Yeah, prices are still dropping, so it's probably going to even a more historic low.
And that's just something for me to do that game because I'm just going to Nanaimo the next day, so it's just like a fucking whatever. So.
Before I decided to stream every single Canucks game, I didn't think about the fact that means I'm going to be here in my bar, not going to Rogers Arena ever. So until they let me broadcast live from Rogers Arena. Well, that's why we're going to have to do me renting out a room so that we can all get together and watch the game together and do
yourself a night off, Russell. You didn't
give yourself a night off.
There's one coming
up.
We'll be missing one game coming up in March. We'll be missing our first game because Dustin and his fiance Katie are getting married on March 26th. So I was actually going to ask some of you guys who are some of the content creators out here, because I would love to just kind of like on Twitter, right? Or on Twitch, they do like you can do raids, right? So I'm trying to think about how we can get you guys to do a watch party for the game on the 26th instead of me.
All right, well, I'm disqualified because I'm not a content creator.
Yeah. So think about that, boys, for now, because the March 26th game, I can't even remember who. I think it's against LA. Will be the first game in the 2 seasons that I've been doing this that I will not be live because Dustin and Katie will be getting married.
Russ, I know what I'm good at, and your play-by-play is untouchable. I don't know. You have a background in, right? And I've even tried like I'll try. You can go on YouTube and they have like, say for example, the gold medal game in 2010. It's on YouTube and there's no commentary because I guess of the rights or whatever. I'm like, okay, let's see what it would take to actually just call what's happening on the ice. I'm like, it's hard. It's not an easy thing because you have to remember the names and you have to remember like actually literally what they're doing on the fly and spit it out of your mouth. So it's my hat's off to you for what you do on your channel.
I don't think anyone is going to be able to take that off you, Russ. Like no one's going to be able to do these commentaries or these play-by-plays like you. Like you have this persona that you have that people are there to watch that. No one's gonna be like, oh, we have all these other content creators that are here. None of us are even close to doing play-by-play.
Gerald's right.
We could do commentary.
On top of that, you're reading your chat and you're being animated and in an entertaining way.
I appreciate you guys' words very much. And yes, I did, like I said, as Swervin said, I did a little bit of color back in the day. I never did play-by-play, but all I can say is, guys, go back to the very first stream that I did at the beginning of last season. And look at my play-by-play compared to where it is now. Practice makes perfect, boys. Like any one
That's
of you
true.
guys can sit down. That's how it started for John Shorthouse, for Brendan Bashford, Brandon Astle, all these guys. They started just by sitting in front of their TV and doing it. That's all you can do is just do it, and you will get better, and it'll get easier and easier. But like even me, like I literally will have a list of the other team. I have a cheat sheet with me, right? So it's easier when it's obviously a team we play all the time. But I would say if that's something you want to do moving forward, I highly recommend just do it for fun and see how it goes.
Look who said he'll do it.
Kempner Canucks.
Interesting.
March 26th, Kempner. Mark it on your calendar. Because what we'll do is I'll just do some promotions through my own channel, and we can even get your links out through my communities and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's the thing is I've said I want to be live for every single Vancouver Canucks game. And so unless it's a birth or a wedding or a death or something like that, I pretty much, with my day job as a bartender, I have the flexibility to be live for every single game. So I have that, I'm blessed in that way that I can do it, right? So if Kempner wants to do it, I'd love to have him step up to the plate and take care of that game for me.
I mean, before Kempner said that, the only person that in my mind on YouTube Canucks content, I would only think of Gio. I think Gio would be someone that could do it.
Mm-hmm. See if Brandon
like Lego
Astle has
Rocks.
a night off.
Brandon Astle.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. Dude, Tyler, that's you, man. You got to reach out to Astle and be like, hey, bro, if the Abbey Canucks aren't playing, you want to do like a play-by-play?
He pops into Tyler's chat once in a while when he's bored. So I know that.
Oh, yeah.
He'd probably do it if you asked him.
Yeah. Just make sure you don't use the freaking S word again. Right?
Oh, gosh.
What did you say? What did you do, Swervin?
About what?
The S word?
No, didn't Brandon Astle say to shut out?
Oh yeah,
during the broadcast.
Yeah.
During the broadcast.
During the Abbey game. Yeah, during the Abbey game.
He said with 28 seconds left to go in the third period today, he said shut out. I couldn't
He pulled a John Garrett.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
He pulled the Donkey Dave.
Yeah, ballsy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
No, I'm down. Kempner wants to do it, but that's the thing too. I'd love to have it. I'd love to have you guys all get together, right? Like Kempner does play-by-play, and then he brings you guys on for the intermissions like I do. You do your color commentary, you do your own Rusty and Dusty sideshow. I think it'd be a lot of fun for you guys to do it for a night, just to kind of see how it goes. So think about it too, guys. Even if you just want to do intermissions and stuff too, right? I can make the stats that you want, but you don't really need for you.
I could do color, but it would just be me roasting people in the chat. No, I wouldn't be talking about the game.
Oh yeah. So keep it in mind, guys. Think about it. Yeah. Maybe get a bunch of you guys together to do it. I'll be busy having a party with Dustin and his fiance Katie.
Worst comes to worst, we just strictly do reactions. Not play.
Yeah, you three will all have fun. I'm not qualified, so.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down. We'll talk more about it.
Yeah, let's all talk about
that for sure.
Figure something out. Still a couple weeks away.
I'm down for that for sure.
I mean, I would be down if Swervin's down. I mean,
right?
He'll do the color for the chat. I'll do the color for, I don't know, something else. I mean, the best we can do is like our imitation of like Tomlinson. So I'm sure that's not too hard. No offense to Dave. He called Lankinen Hellebuck today on one of the plays, and I was like, that's interesting.
Oh, no.
And then Shorty's just like, yeah, so Lankinen, blah 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 blah. Like he didn't call him out right on live stream or on TV. He just brought up
He's a
Lankman's
consummate.
name.
He's,
I don't know.
he's a consummate pro. He just powers through.
Love Shorty, man. Shorty's amazing.
Oh,
Can we I know Tyler, you want to switch, you want to finish things up? Can we get Kempner to jump on here for like the very end? Like I want to get Kempner on here before we close things out. Kempner, if you're listening to us right now, is it possible to get him on for a minute?
Ty, if you want to go, because I know you're tired. I mean, I just got up from a long nap. This is also streamed on Headspace right now. So whoever's over at Headspace, we actually have some viewers on Headspace right now. If you want to do your sponsor read, and then you can jump off, and we'll just switch it entirely to Headspace. Then you can rest if you want to go.
Oh shit! I completely forgot about my sponsor read again. I should probably do that
again. Like, that's why you need me, right? Because I need to remind you to constantly do that. So if you want to do that, and all of you guys want to stay, I don't know, maybe for another, because you guys have run for almost 3 hours, maybe for like another 45 minutes, then we can keep this running on Headspace.
Maybe we've run through a lot of topics.
I think we can do that. I'm not sure how that works with
you, just
like, because I don't want to hit end stream and then it turn off on yours. So
no, on your end, right at the top corner, you can click your, because there's the three of us. There's yours, Headspace, and then the X line change. Just unclick those ones. Then this one will keep running.
Oh,
and then we'll figure it out.
Well, let me do
I'll make sure it's loaded.
All right, let me do my sponsor read then. Let me just find it in my thing here. All right, this post game. I know it doesn't feel like a post game, but it is. As a presentation of DraftKings Sportsbook, which is of course a official sports betting partner of the NHL.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet, and the not so secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
Como mamá, siempre quiero lo mejor para mi familia. Por eso quiero lo mejor en mi cocina. Y eso significa solo huevos Eggland's Best. No importa cómo los cocines, siempre saben frescos y deliciosos. Y tienen más vitaminas D y E y el doble de omega 3 que los huevos regulares. Entonces, ¿por qué conformarte con menos cuando puedes tener lo mejor? Eggland's Best. Mejor sabor, mejor nutrición, mejores huevos.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice. With player props and live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN, that's code THPN, to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois, 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario, restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which will expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, See dkng.co/audio. This is a limited time offer. Copyright 2026 NHL, all rights reserved. This video has been a presentation of both DraftKings Sportsbook as well as the Hockey Podcast Network. Be sure to check out the network for your favorite podcast covering your favorite team at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com, the home of hockey podcasts, where it's every team, everywhere.
We lost Irvin.
Let me quickly look at the odds for tomorrow. Just taking a quick glance at them.
Oh, Rain has left too.
So Colorado Avalanche, Minnesota Wild. Tomorrow, Minnesota Wild are a plus 1.5 on the puck line, a minus 170, plus 150 on the money line. Avalanche are a minus 1.5, a plus 142 on the puck line, and a minus 180 on the money line. Keep in mind, these odds are subject to change. And there you go.
My pick for tomorrow for that game would be game total, game goal total for that game, over 5.5. I think it's set at 6.5 right now. So $10 gets you 16. 1606. And I think my bet also hit today, the one we talked about yesterday. Hey Connor, are you
All right, so now that my sponsor,
are you wanting to jump back on? And I don't know, I sent a message on, well, I left in chat for Kempner to jump on, but he hasn't replied. Does anyone have his contacts?
I should actually
Russ,
probably get off here.
Because Russ, if you have the link, just send it to him. Get him to jump on, and then you guys can talk about it. Or I don't know, you can do it outside of the stream.
No, I think I should jump off here too.
Okay.
It is spring ahead forward to you guys. So remember that. So in 1 hour, it's going to be 3 a.m.
The last time. This is the last time we're doing
ever.
it, though.
yeah.
What is the last time? What do you mean?
They're
So
not doing
for
it anymore
BC.
after this.
Oh yeah, I know, yeah.
But it's just going to be odd for all the other cities in Canada.
I'm stoked they
And
finally canceled it. It's stupid. We shouldn't be doing it.
we shouldn't. But why is the rest of Canada still doing it?
Because
which is odd.
BC does things first, then the rest of the provinces follow. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah. So that's why they changed the games to 5 and 8 o'clock. So all the games on Saturdays are going to be at 5 now instead of 8. Or sorry, instead of 4. And then all the games get moved to 8. So that's going to suck for Vancouver too.
Won't it be like that? Won't we have the same time as Alberta sometimes then?
Yeah, but I don't know. There was a news article about how all the games going into next year is going to be moved up an hour. So instead of 7 o'clock games, it's going to be 8 o'clock games. All of them. And it's going to be a lot even later for everyone that lives here, just to accommodate to everyone else that's across the country or also in the US. And I thought LA and Vegas games were late because they start at 7:30. It's going to be even later for Vancouver. Just to accommodate to the time change, because 8 o'clock would mean it's 7 elsewhere, or down in LA. But it also means it's 10 o'clock in the East. As opposed to, it'll stay 10 o'clock in the East. So we got to accommodate to the East. But yeah.
Oh, lovely.
All right, kids, I'm going to hop off here now. I got to go take the dog out. He needs to go out. It's 1 a.m. now.
Oh, Dobie.
I've been on live since 3:30 this morning or earlier this afternoon, so it's been a long haul.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Isn't that wild? It's been like 11 hours now, or 11 hours or something now.
It will be, yeah.
All right, kids. I appreciate you having me on. Think about March 26th. We'll hook something up. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And Tyler, thanks for having us all on. And as I always say on my stream, well, first we'll say this because Tank, baby, Tank! And then I'll remind you all to make good choices. Good night, guys.
Thank you, Ross. Good night.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for coming on, Ross. Really appreciate it, buddy.
Wow,
so are
running
you guys
close to
still
3.
gonna go on Headspace or?
Well, no. Now that everyone's gone, I think we can call it a night. I don't know if Rain wants to continue this,
Okay.
but Russ is right. It's gonna be 3:00 it's gonna be 2:00 in 2 minutes.
And
well, I don't
like
know. I think
an
they
hour.
change it at 2. Yeah. So right now it's 1, so it becomes it's technically 2 already. So what's up, Rain?
I mean,
We're gonna call it.
I think so. I mean, I would put you to sleep
Okay.
anyway at this point. So
So just a reminder, Tyler, Rain and his JT Miller
we
hot
talked
takes.
about this already.
Oh, did you? Okay,
We
sorry. I missed it.
already. Yeah.
You know, I
Okay.
gotta tell you, I'm very old school. I'm old school in this sense. You gotta give me a date and time.
As long as it's not a steak dinner at Eliza, then we're good. Okay,
I don't know
cool.
how long, and by the way, I have no idea how long it's going to take me to go through all those notes I have, but be prepared for a doozy.
Or maybe do a part 1 and then a part 2.
Okay, maybe. Well, you know what? Because I do have some
That's
petty
actually
notes.
a good idea.
Well, I do. have
Yeah,
my
because
more
you don't have to
petty-
do it all in one.
No.
So what is Thursday at 10 p.m., Rain? Am I missing something, or is Irvin
No.
just like trying to steal
No,
you
Ir-
right now?
Irvin's trying to steal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you guys do Thursdays at 10 p.m.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll see Rain Thursday at 10 p.m. Is that right, Rain? We gave you a date and a time.
I mean,
Unlike
that's
someone.
true. You did give me that, so.
Okay, cool. So you heard it here first on the line change on Headspace. We're going to be having Rain on as a guest to do his hot takes this Thursday at 10 p.m. But we can also simulcast on the line change. How's that?
Oh God, am I time restrained?
So we'll probably we'll talk off the screen. But I would think that we can do part 1 and part 2. Or how about this? We can accommodate to both the line change and Headspace. You can do one part on each channel.
Well, like I said, I do have my more petty and then my more substantial cliff notes. Maybe we'll go with that.
Okay, so just give us the substantial one, and then you can give the petty stuff to Tyler. No, because you can be uncensored on the line change, and you could just go all out, and then you could.
that is
right?
true.
Not because we're trying to like screw the line change. I'm just saying
No, because I
that
cuss like a
you
fucking
could
sailor
swear.
in real life. I cuss like a fucking sailor.
Yeah, so you could be swearing and just be yourself on the line change, whereas when you come onto the Headspace, just try not to swear. Is all we're asking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can try.
So that's
I mean,
the only difference.
I do it on Clay's show. I can last. I think.
Exactly. So leave the juicy stuff where you need to swear and use profanity on the line change, and then leave everything else for us.
Oh, To which actually, in that case, I do have one in there, and here I can give now then.
Yeah, go for it. Oh, actually, you are on the line, or you are on Headspace right now too. Just so you know.
Oh. Okay, let's try this. We'll try this.
Let's do a test run. We'll do a quick test run.
So you know how you guys love Phil Hronik's not dealing with BS when it comes to the media or whatever. Like, you guys have said that you love that. And as a fellow petty person, I do love that myself, in which you call out reporters. I do love this. However, I do also have a different take on this in this sense. You are at work. You have a job to do. You have to get bothered in order to get paid. What is happening now?
Sorry, I want to make Rain the bigger.
Oh, here,
we'll have it more focused on you.
Give me one.
Have it focused on Rain.
There we go.
And then, yeah. Do you want us on the side? Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Okay. Tyler, can you do that then?
Yeah.
Oh, this is good enough. This is good enough. I don't need people looking closer, being like, "Where's his nose?" Don't look for it.
Let's just do this. Keep going.
No.
Rain, just keep going.
Oh, God, I need to pick that. Anyways, no. No,
Come on, Rain.
But in all seriousness, though, listen, as much as I love Phil Hronik and him calling out reporters, I also think you're at work. You have a job to do. You have to get bothered in order to get paid. And the attitude of, I'm not going to answer that. If anybody else said that, if any of us said that to our bosses at our jobs, that would not fly. Like, your boss asks you a work question, no, I'm not going to answer that. That would not fly. Or you get asked a task that you've performed a million times before, and you say, no, I'm not going to do that. That would not fly. So I'm not sure why we give Hronik a pass. I guess maybe because we think Vancouver media is toxic, and they can ask really stupid questions, which true. But I just think you're also at work. These journalists have a job to do. You have a job to do in answering them. And if you don't answer them, they can't do their jobs. So I don't know. But that's one of my more petty ones.
No, I think that's fine. I think that is it's fair. It's a fair sort of look at it. But at the same time, the job itself, the media is not really paying them. So
no,
they can do whatever.
They are,
it's just more of a PR side.
Though. They are in a way co-workers, though, because by you not answering the question, they can't do their job, which is to quote what you're saying if your job is to report on the team. Although that would give you a juicy headline, though. So maybe that would be doing the job more or less if you didn't want to answer the question. But
yeah,
see, I would
because
be like, but see, I would be that person who was like, you know how like journalists, they don't give you like any of the like you have to read between the lines kind of thing. Like I would be like, so Phil Hronik looked pissed off as I was asking this question or whatever. Like that's how I would be writing. I would be writing like one of those novels. So
I don't think your career in journalism would go very far if that's the
absolutely
case.
Not. Hell no, because I would be the person who's like, yeah, that's a minute of my life I can't get back now. Can you answer my actual question, please?
No, but I think with Hronik, that's the point of just having him there, because it's to calm down the room, and it's to, you know, if he thinks it's bullshit, it's bullshit. He's not going to answer it, right? Like, what is the point of answering a question like, oh, how do you feel going into this game? You're not going to be like, oh yeah, I feel like shit right now, and I'm not going to play very well. Like, what kind of answer does journalists need, like, expect you to give, right? So,
but then players get criticism because we don't get to see their personalities. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. But that also reminds me of. So, oh God, I'm trying to think of how to word this. You know, I have to say, I have no sympathy for multimillionaires who supposedly don't get along. I got no sympathy whatsoever. If you have ever had a job in the workplace, you are going to have to deal with somebody you cannot stand and that you don't like. But here's a newsflash. Your boss, at least they should anyways, does not give a flying rat's behind if you get this person or not. All they care about, at least they should, all they care about is whether or not you get the job done at the end of the day. Like, remember when Miller said regarding Patterson, I could bring Petey out right now if that would make you guys happy. It's like, Millsy, you're not helping yourself. Like, all you're telling us is that you don't like each other. It's like, I got no sympathy. You make millions of dollars a year. Who gives a flying rat's ass if you don't like him? Get on the ice and do your job.
That's so true. But imagine if one of the journalists had the balls to go, hey, why don't you bring Petey out here right now? Imagine the shit show that would have happened. And I don't think Petey would come out.
It would have also been amazing.
No.
Don't you think?
It would have been funny to have them fight post game.
One of my favorite Canucks memories. Well, this is maybe
perfect.
not so much a hindsight, but do you remember when?
I mean, everybody who's ever had a job in the workplace, like, everybody is gonna have to deal with that. That's just a given fact.
Yes.
You're just gonna have to deal with it. Like, it's not all rainbows and lollipops and unicorns when you're in the workplace.
No, but right now, to be honest, like, Hronek's been doing a lot better with media. Like, ever since he came. Like, of late this season, if you notice some of the media availabilities for Hronek, it's been acceptable. Like, he's answering the questions. I mean, he might fade one or two, but in general, he will answer the questions.
It has been acceptable. I mean, it's also not a coincidence that we're seeing more of that since Quinn Hughes got traded. So, because again, I don't believe in coincidences, but that's just me.
Is there something to be said that the captain doesn't have to be the best talker on the team, and that there could be somebody else who does more media? Like, I mean, we had Henrik Sedin, and yes, he was the highest point getter. He's the fittest. He was the hardest working. But the best talker on that team was Kevin Bieksa by a landslide.
Let's see.
Yeah. Rain left again. No, but Bieksa was also an assistant. But I don't remember back in the day, was Bieksa doing a lot of the media availabilities?
If they asked him, it was also a different time in media, because they would go into the locker rooms and they would be at their stalls and they would talk to everybody. Now they have to ask for people, and the Canucks can say yes or no.
Yeah. I also don't like that, just limiting. But I guess it's the players also need time to rest, and dealing with media is very stressful. I would believe.
I look at it as a two-way street, and there's this adversarial relationship between team and player and versus media, and they're all supposed to be promoting the game, and the team doesn't look at media that way. Mind you, they do ask some really stupid ass questions, if you ask me.
Oh yeah.
Like I'll give you an example. Lalji saying, "Are you surprised?" He said to Elias Pettersson, "Are you surprised the way the last 2 years has gone since you signed your contract?" Like, yeah, he's fucking surprised. They're in 32nd place. You think he wanted this to happen?
Yeah, it's like, thank you, Captain Sherlock. What did you think was going to happen? It's why we love Leon Draisaitl when he calls out reporters in Edmonton. Like, we all love it.
Yeah.
And even they acknowledge, yeah, that was pretty damn stupid.
Yeah, but McDavid and Mark Spector, I think we talked about it at one of the streams the other day. Yeah. And Mark Spector, like, I was so surprised to see him on Sportsnet during the trade deadline. It's like, what is this dumbass doing here? He's such a clown. Like, why would you ask a question like that and not be?
And did you see McDavid's most recent response to him?
No.
in a scrum. He
No,
said,
what was this?
I don't know what the question was, but McDavid just said, "Oh, thank you for asking that. That's a very good question." And whether he meant it or not, it
That was
just like
the
a
one with
perfect.
Spectre.
It,
Yeah, that was the one with
it was the
Spec.
perfect way to respond because it just kind of it shoved it back on him, and he didn't take the bait, is what I mean. Not like Pedersen did. And I think that's the
Yeah,
way you gotta do
PD.
it. You have to have a level head. You have to have maturity, whether you're gritting your teeth on the inside or not. You know, I don't like you would never see Crosby give a stupid answer like that. If somebody asked him, "Hey, what do you got to do to win the game?" He will give you he'll break it down. He'll give you the stats, the plays they need to do, the players they're going to head with. And he's selling the game. Rick Tocchet, for all his faults, was a lot like that too. He would break down every part of the game for reporters. He never dodged questions. So
No.
yeah, like I said, it's a two-way street. Everyone's got to do better, in my eyes.
Yeah, Justin says PD definitely needs media training. So it's
If
just
PD needs media
talking in
training, then
general.
Albie needs PR lessons.
That's a big one too.
Yeah.
They withhold information at the wrong times, and for all their hate towards speculation, that creates more when they do that shit.
Well, this is the thing, and I made this point. I can't remember which stream it was on. It was when PD was pissed that the media was making up those trade rumors. PD, the media doesn't have to make those up when your bosses are the ones telling the journalists in the first place.
Yes.
Because how did they get the tidbit that you're in the trade rumors? Somebody had to tell them, because if they didn't tell them, they just made it up. That's a defamation. That's a defamation lawsuit. So somebody had to spill the beans.
Yeah. Well, it is the management issue, to be very honest. I think overall, that's hilarious. It is underwhelming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, they need me on PR. True.
I don't want to read this, but that's what Stevie's saying. Or sorry, Japan 4.
Oh, I could care less. And Aquilini needs a owner for dummies book because he's a dummy. I ain't afraid of Aquaman.
What is it? Owners 101?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh.
All right, should we call it there? I just heard that yawn and
yeah,
it's
I did too.
1:15.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's 1:15 now.
I didn't expect Irvin to come back on because in the chat he was like, "Call it," and then he jumps back in.
Well, I grabbed the battery for my phone because I was at like 17%, and then figured why not. So
Okay, so Thursday 10:00, right? We're doing this. Come on, big brain.
Oh God.
Yep, sounds good. Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys Thursday.
Feed
We'll see you guys
that shit
Thursday.
into ChatGPT and get a summary. That looks really long.
Well, yeah, because here's the other thing. Because I'll say this: it's one thing when it's over a span of like 6-7 years or however long Miller was here, but when it's all written out all on one piece, you're like, oh, that's really hard to ignore.
What did you list off all the blunders?
You gotta wait to find out.
Okay, I can't wait.
Yeah, you gotta wait. Gotta wait, Irvin.
Sir, here, I'll send you a pre-copy because Rain sent me a copy a couple of weeks ago, and
Cool.
there's a lot. So, but I think that's it. I don't think you need to do your end post game or your end of stream read anymore. We can just walk off because you already did it at what was it, like half an hour ago? So
No.
yeah, and Irvin's trying to do our usual punch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tyler, thanks for hosting this. I'm so glad I got to jump on. I guess if it wasn't for me, then not everyone else would have stayed on this much longer. Appreciate each and every one of you, especially all the viewers here right now, still commenting, like just incredible. And also Japan 4, which is Stevie, both friends of the community, and also Fangirl, who is always here.
Thank you.
Number one
Actually, we'll
moderator,
end off.
Fangirl.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. And one last question for Rain. This is from Connor. How can you be so energetic and enthusiastic and keep going so late? Like, we wonder that too every time we have you on.
Well, I'm a walking joke at this point, but anyways, no. No, it depends on the vibe that I'm in. Like if I'm in if there's a vibe where like everybody's like really getting into it, like I can jump on board with that. But if you're like depressed as shit, like that's no bueno.
Okay. That's great. I mean,
I've been told that I'm the stress reliever, which I may be the stress inducer for some people.
No. If we ever do like a long stream, like a 12-hour stream, we know who to reach out to. So,
look on
and Rain, this is Servan's comment before you jump back on. Just remember this when you come on to Headspace, and we'll leave it at that for tonight. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate everyone being here. And especially big shout out to Russell from Nothing's Perfect, who is here, Connor Cahill, who is a frequent contributor on this channel and other channels. Was there anyone else that was here that before I jumped on? I think that's about it, right?
I think that was it.
Okay, great. So thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time. You could be, like Clay says, you could be doing a lot of other things instead of watching us four clowns talk about Canucks and hockey, but you chose to be here. Thank you for doing that. We will see you most likely. Irvin and I will see you Thursday with Rain, and Tyler and I will probably be doing post game in a couple of days.
Monday, yeah.
Yeah, so on Monday, which is tomorrow now. Yeah, and that's
You're
against...
hyping me up too much for Thursday. You better hope I don't disappoint now.
It's okay. Don't do that to yourself. What are they? Ottawa. Ottawa is going to be in town. Ottawa's in town, right? In Vancouver, and the game is actually on Prime. So for those that don't have Amazon, don't have Prime, you might not be able to watch the game. So yeah, it reverts back to radio, or you can go into the NHL app and listen to Shorty. Oh, sorry, it'd be Bachelor. So Brendan Bachelor on Sportsnet 650. But we will do the post game here on Monday.
I think I might be there.
Should we live stream the game?
Will you be here?
No, at Rogers.
Oh, you're at Rogers.
I believe so.
Okay, then even better. We will. I don't know. Maybe it depends on Tyler if you want to do it. If not, I can go online on Headspace and then I'll send you a link. But I don't know if you can live stream from Rogers as Headspace. I mean, just do intermissions. Just jump in at intermissions.
I've heard they're very dodgy with that.
No,
So
it's
heard.
fine. No. That's because of me. If you're using your phone, you're fine. If you're using your phone, you're fine. Trust me. And make sure you have your mic minis clicked onto your phone instead of your because you use it on your laptop. So click your mic mini receiver onto your phone and just do it, and have your mic on, and then just do your selfie, and we'll be good. But Tyler, Irvin, and I will talk off the stream on how to coordinate all of that. But let's end the stream here. We're at 3:22. Any last words from anyone else? Rain?
As long as I don't disappoint on Thursday, I'm good to go.
Okay, sounds good. So we have Rain on Thursday, and we might have Irvin at the game on Monday. And Tyler, your last words for the show?
Yeah, to think that I was going to cut this at an hour and 30 minutes.
Sorry.
That was
2
the
hours later.
plan. Hey, it worked out. It worked out in the end because we got Russell on, we got everyone else on. So it actually worked out because I was going solo. So I'm glad it actually worked out this way.
And I'm sorry, Tyler. I think I messaged Tyler really late. I think around 9. I was like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. And then I fell asleep. And then I woke up and saw a bunch of handsome guys on the screen. I was like, okay, I have to jump on. So thank you for everyone that's still here and has been watching. This is Gerald from Headspace. Also, Irvin from Headspace. We got our usual culprit right down here. Big brain rain. It's late. And last but not least, Tyler from the Line Change. So this has been a presentation of a collaboration. This has been a collaboration of Headspace Hockey with the Line Change, who is also sponsored by Tyler.
DraftKings. Yeah,
There we
the
go.
third collaboration already.
In like 48 hours, man. We already have 4 live streams on our channel. This is crazy. But thank you for everyone that has joined us. One last thing I need to say is Irvin and I are still trying to figure this out when we'll be on. But you will know. But our usual show is Thursdays. Thursdays at 10 p.m., which is when Rain will be on for the next show, our very second show. But anything in between, I might jump on. Irvin might jump on. I'll definitely be doing post games with Tyler. So make sure that little bell notification is on for everything, so you know when we're on, when to check us out. And yeah, at 3 hours and 25, we're gonna call it here. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need some sort of music or bong to end it? No? Okay, cool. Let's end this.
Now I gotta. Well, now you're making me look at the sounds. I gotta check the sounds.
Okay. So Irvin, you can take your fist down. We'll make Rain put his fist up too. Once Tyler puts some sort of music up.
I'm just testing.
That's it. What is that?
Yeah.
Okay, cut it. We're done. Tyler, we're done. Okay. Tyler, let's go. Everyone has their fist up. Bye, guys.
Como mamá, siempre quiero lo mejor para mi familia. Por eso quiero lo mejor en mi cocina. Y eso significa solo huevos Eggland's Best. No importa cómo los cocines, siempre saben frescos y deliciosos. Y tienen más vitaminas D y E y el doble de omega 3 que los huevos regulares. Entonces, ¿por qué conformarte con menos cuando puedes tener lo mejor? Eggland's Best. Mejor sabor, mejor nutrición, mejores huevos.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.